Those wicked smiles.
That was wonderful. Bravo. I loved that. Oh, it was great. Well, it was pretty good.
Mature content. The following stream contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences, including mature themes, strong language, and potentially sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, fam? Thanks for being here. Hey, Tina. Hey, Donna. Hey, Betty. Hey, Marilyn Love JJ. Kay. Tina. Christine. Lassa. Abby. Recovered by Grace. Thanks for being here. Sandra. Afton. Jan. Michelle. Thanks for being here. I'm going to get right into this because Babe has got to get the computer at like 9. So I want to try to finish these closings if I can. I'm going to play them at 1.25. So yeah, let's get to it. Thanks for being here. I did a short. Will Bloodworth bring it home in the closings? And in my opinion, he sure freaking did. Top 5 day in PowerPoints. What a PowerPoint by the prosecution. What a piece of garbage by the defense. But real quick before I start, we got something.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
All right, I got to talk about this real quick. I want to read this because I want to. And hi, Patriot Lady, Carrie, Miss Twatty Waffle, Pammy, Kathy, Sketch Magic, Vera Gabs. Thanks for being here. Neely, what's up? All right, so this has got a message I got on the old Facebook. This is in reference to a picture I put of Kouri Richins wearing a shower curtain today from the jail. That was my theory. My hypothesis was that she got a shower curtain from the jail. We'll see in a second. And someone wrote, I've been watching this whole trial, and today I actually feel sick in my stomach. I don't think there is a need to comment on what she is wearing. This person's life is literally on the line. And it continues. Please know that I do believe she is guilty. Please know that I do believe she is guilty. But I can't even imagine what she is feeling right now, so let's be kind. Thank you for listening. Since they put the thank you for listening, I didn't blow up their name, but I just want to say, are you fucking kidding me? You believe she's guilty? You believe she murdered her husband and poisoned him with like 5 times the amount of fentanyl and the father of her children? And you're mad because I'm making fun of her blouse? Get the fuck out of here. I think I'm pretty empathetic to people. I cried a million times on lives. I think I have some empathy. I don't have empathy for murderers. Sorry. So if you're like, don't think I'm going to make fun of Kouri Richins, you picked the wrong channel. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to Bloodworth. Let's do this. Meow. Meow.
Kouri Richins feels aggrieved and is thus an intensely ambitious person.
This is pretty low. I think I'm going to do a little of the old sound booster.
She feels aggrieved because growing up, her father was...
Whoa. Just got a Venmo from Jan. Thank you for being live and your energy. Hashtag JBoneNation. $10 from Jan. Thank you so much, Jan.
An alcoholic who traded parenting for prison, and her mother a gambler who traded parenting for a casino. Kouri Richins thus worked for her aunt, cleaning the homes of...
Again, this is on 1 point... Let me make sure I have it right. 1.25 this should be on. Yeah, 1.25. I want to try to get through both closings. Oh, by the way, folks, this is what I wanted to say. If you see on anywhere that there's like a question or something, let me know and I'll hop over. I won't miss if there's a question or anything like that.
Rich people in Park City. She was not beneath those homeowners, but she felt that she was. This fueled in her an intense desire to appear privileged, affluent, and successful. She met Eric Richins. He was a successful business owner. He had money. They had a son, married, and had 2 more sons. Kouri Richins was on her way. But she was unhappy. She wanted to leave Eric Richins, but did not want to leave his money. Their prenuptial agreement, she met Eric if she left him. He was a successful business owner. His money. So, Kouri Richins took $250,000 in equity out of Eric Richins' home without him knowing it, so that she could start her own business and earn enough money to leave Eric Richins. Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. First with Eric's money and then other people's money, Kouri Richins carefully curated the facade of a privileged, affluent, successful business owner. Behind the facade, however, Kouri Richins was incompetent. She took tremendous risks.
She sure was incompetent. Ayana, $10 Venmo. Irate comments read by Jay. Thanks, Ayana.
She borrowed money by any means necessary at exorbitant rates. She gambled other people's money and lost. Her business was imploding. All the while, Kouri Richins was more interested in spending time with Josh Grossman than Eric. She dreamed of living in the Midway Mansion with Josh, running it as an event center, farming and raising kids, Eric's kids. But she did not have the money to leave Eric or the money to salvage her business. Kouri Richins is an intensely ambitious person. She is a risk taker. There was a way forward. Eric had to die.
Thanks so much, the real DJ Miller, the super chat. Well, he doesn't read this, so I'm going to read it. This is his first slide here. A gun may be fired in a flash of anger, a rock carelessly hurled, a shovel swung in sudden fury, but a homicidal poisoning requires a calculating intelligence. I mean, we're giving Kouri a little bit of credit here, saying she has a calculating intelligence. But I guess I get the point.
As Judge Mrazek just instructed, there are 5 counts.
Shannon did not like this slide, as she said Kouri Richins shouldn't have been a bullet on each of these. She did not feel like it, and then it does make sense. Why would she be a bullet on there? We know that's she's not a. I mean, I guess I don't know.
And each count has a series of elements. The state has to prove each count and each element of each count beyond a reasonable doubt. That is our burden. In this closing, we will go count by count and then within each count, element by element, to show to you how the state has met its burden of proving aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of fraud, and forgery.
By the way, Scott here and Bloodworth, they were like a couple of little moments where they weren't syncing, but Scott was always ready, and it was pretty on time. Good job. Scott! Good job, Scott.
That, again, is the reasonable doubt instruction that Judge Mrazek just read, and you will have back with you in the jury room. Judge Mrazek also read this instruction on what evidence is, and it's usually testimony and exhibits. To reiterate, what the attorneys say is not evidence. And as I asked you in opening, please focus on the evidence. Throughout this presentation, I generally use this format for slides. And so everybody understands where we are, the count, and then the element within the count is at the top in the red banner. We then quote some witness testimony, and we cite it because it's the evidence that matters. So that you'll have the exhibits back with you when you deliberate, and you can reference them. Usually it's a
I've seen other trials where they do their closing statement, but they don't connect it to the instructions. Like, they did a great job with this, connecting it to the jury instructions and also connecting it to the exhibits. This, I may say, was the best presentation I think I've seen. Maybe Creighton and Creighton and Murdoch, Georgia, and Adelson, also great exhibit. But this may be the best one.
Transcript, page, line, number of the testimony. We also publish exhibits. And usually we'll have an exhibit number down here. If there's an exhibit, whatever, 2-5, so you can reference it. Let's begin with the aggravated murder count. The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins was the person who committed the aggravated murder. The evidence will prove that she intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins, here by means of administering to him the illicit street drugs that she purchased from Carmen Lauber. She intended to kill him with the illicit street drugs. It doesn't matter what illicit street drugs. We'll get into it more. It doesn't matter if it was the propofol, if it was the fentanyl that actually killed him, if it was oxy or some other illicit street drugs. She bought illicit street drugs to kill Eric Richins. That's what matters. That's murder. These two elements are just murder. Right? If we hide this, that's a murder charge. Here we have an aggravated murder charge, and the state will prove two separate and distinct aggravators. The first is for pecuniary gain. This is a why aggravator. Why did Kouri Richins kill Eric? For money. The second aggravator is a how aggravator. How did she do it? Here, by the administration of any substance, here it happens to be fentanyl, but it could be any substance administered in a lethal amount. Either one of those aggravators are what transforms this case from a murder case to an aggravated murder case. So, first element, was it Kouri Richins? Yes. The state has proved that Kouri...
Shaker Maker says 1.5. Let's try it. Let's see if that's too fast. I think you may be right. I think we might be all right with that. If I need to slow it down, I'll slow it down. Hello, Michelle. Welcome in.
Richins had the means, here the fentanyl, the illicit street drugs, the motive, here money, and a fresh start at life, and the opportunity to kill Eric Richins. She was the only other adult in the home at the time. Nobody else killed Eric Richins. Now, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins by administering the illicit street drugs. The state will prove with all kinds of evidence, testimony, exhibits, patterns of her behavior, and what each of us know about humans, that she intended to cause Eric's death. She intended it probably as early as December the 7th, 2021, when she booked a trip for her and Josh Grossman to the Caribbean for April. People don't book that trip. Kouri Richins did not book that trip thinking Eric Richins would be alive in April. She booked it knowing he would not. In December, before Eric died, before Kouri Richins murdered Eric, she told her friend, Becky Lloyd, in many ways it would be better if he were dead. That proves she intended to cause his death. This was the New York life policy that covered the C&E buy-sell agreement. And on January the 1st, 2022, Kouri Richins changed the life insurance beneficiary on Cody's policy from Eric to her. The evidence proves that Kouri Richins didn't understand that was Cody's policy. And when she figured it out, she went ahead and changed it back. Because she planned to murder Eric. She did not plan to murder Cody. But she planned to murder. Kouri Richins asked two people, Hayden Jeffs and Carmen Lauber, for the Michael.
Like, this is so good. Sorry that the text is above it. I don't want to smack you. Like, this is so good. The picture of the witness, the question, the highlighted words, the timeline. This is so good. So good.
Jackson drug.
Yes, Michelle. Thank you for reminding me. Hit that like if you haven't hit it already. Let's get this thing in the algo.
Kouri Richins was a suburban mother real estate agent. She does not know a lot about the illicit street drug world, but she knows Michael Jackson died from taking drugs. She doesn't know how to order a street drug, but she knows she wants the Michael Jackson stuff. She knows she wants it because it is lethal, it is fatal, it kills. And she wanted lethal, fatal death. Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. She wanted the perfect life, or at least the appearance of the perfect life. And for her, that meant Josh Grossman. But first, Eric had to go away.
So with these transactions, when Carmen hit you up, what did she tell you?
She told me she had a friend that wanted, you know,
Did she ask for blue specifically, or fentanyl specifically, or did she ask for oxys? What did she ask for?
no. I think she might have asked for blue. I can't remember.
But you sold her M30, right?
Yeah, I told her what she knew what she was buying.
Okay, so she wasn't like she's asking for oxys or something like that. She got the M30.
Right, no.
Okay, so she knew that there was fentanyl.
At Kouri Richins' request, Carmen Lauber purchased illicit street drugs from Robert Crozier. It's those illicit street drugs that killed Eric Richins. It's those illicit street drugs that Kouri used to murder Eric Richins. And while there may be some question as to whether she specifically ordered fentanyl or she knew she was getting fentanyl, the evidence proves she at least knew it. She wanted fatal, lethal, illicit street drugs. And all the testimony from Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier, digital forensics, we'll get into it, all confirm that Kouri Richins ordered and received illicit street drugs, and that those street drugs contained fentanyl.
And we're not talking about those crazy red devils, a.k.a. Sudafed.
Illicit street drugs is all that matters. But you heard the testimony that despite confusion in what people were ordering, people were getting fentanyl. The fake M30s looked like the real.
Oh my fucking God. How did I not realize this during the trial? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? I cannot believe this. I can't believe I didn't notice it. I can't believe I didn't notice this during the trial. Debbie, thank you so much for the $10 super chat that says a sip of booze for every stank face. We'd all be dead. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? And I'm not deleting this live, and this is on them. These morons did it again. Do you see this? They put this guy's picture up again and his name. How did they do it? I didn't realize this during the live. These fucking idiots. They put his name on. I guess it's not on the prosecution. I guess it's on the at least give a heads up to Court TV. Don't show this fucking guy.
Well, sorry, yeah, the fake M30s looked like the real M30s. Everything on the street in early 2022 had fentanyl. That's how we know that it was this purchase that ended up killing Eric. It's the fentanyl. We can trace the fentanyl. Next slide. The digital forensics corroborate Carmen Lauber's testimony that 5 days before Kouri Richins murdered Eric Richins, Carmen Lauber purchased for Kouri Richins fentanyl from Robert Crozier at the Maverick in Draper. The call detail records show an extraordinary amount of overlapping communication between Carmen Lauber, Kouri Richins, Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier during that time. We, of course, don't have the communications. Carmen Lauber deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal. Kouri Richins deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal and a murder. Robert Crozier said he had lost his phone. But that's an extraordinary number of communications. We know that Kouri Richins, the evidence proves that Kouri Richins used a Moscow Mule and a shot to administer the fentanyl to Eric. She writes it in her orange notebook where she journals what happened the night she murdered Eric. It's a self-serving journal. We'll discuss that down the road.
Just wild. You guys are going to see, but it's just wild, her faces and mannerisms during this. Like, she thinks she's going to convince the jury that she's not guilty because she makes these fucking faces. I don't think I've ever seen... I've never seen a defendant this animated the entire trial straight through closings. What a fucking idiot.
But she wrote Moscow Mule and a lemon drop shot. And that is consistent with all the toxicology. Again, in the notes that investigators recovered from the kitchen cabinet in Kouri Richins' home, she wrote Moscow Mules. Lemon water, vodka, and rum. She left out the main ingredient, which of course is the ginger beer. But there was ginger beer. We know that from the cock and bull that OME investigation.
Take out your cock and balls for mama. That's probably weird if no one knows Adam Sandler. But that's all I could think of with cock and ball. I had that CD in like 1996, Adam Sandler, where it's like he's pretending he's a mom and he's trying to get his kids to take out their cock and ball. It's the funniest fucking thing. Take out your cock and balls for mama.
Cam sessions found in the trash can in the kitchen. It's interesting that Kouri Richins wrote vodka in parentheses rum. The evidence may show that the Moscow Mule she made that night was ginger beer and fentanyl. The lemon drop shot may be lemon and fentanyl. Notice that here she writes drink in bed. We'll come back to that in a minute. The cock and bull, as I mentioned, corroborates at least the Moscow Mule. And that we know the cause of death from the death certificate was fentanyl. The fentanyl and the illicit street drugs that Kouri Richins got from Carmen Lauber, who got from Robert Crozier.
Mods, block Abby. She's audio clipping me. Say, take out your cock and balls. Mods, block Abby.
We know that Eric ingested the fentanyl from the Moscow Mule, the lemon drop shop, or both. Medical examiner Dr. Pamela Ulmer, toxicologist Brianna Peterson, chief medical examiner Dr. Eric Christensen, all testified that the 20,000 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl, an extraordinary amount, in his stomach indicates oral ingestion. Indeed, Dr. Christensen not only testified to it, he told Kouri Richins that in their phone call that she recorded.
Keller N2N says, thank you, Jay, for bringing us this coverage with your unique perspective on this case. You got it. And thanks for being here, Keller. If you're new to the channel, say hi. Friendliest chat in the land. And if you haven't already, hit that like button.
Ms. Peterson's testimony, as well as Dr. Christensen, also proves that the fentanyl was illicit. Again, illicit coming from the street, illegal street drug, illicit fentanyl. And that it was their testimony, right, was that there was not only fentanyl in the toxicology, but there was norfentanyl, which was a marker of an illicit fentanyl. There's also acetyl fentanyl as well. But it's the norfentanyl that is a marker of illicit fentanyl, which completely tracks with how Kouri Richins got the illicit street drugs. We also know that Kouri Richins intended to kill Eric Richins because the toxicology contained quetiapine.
A little slow, Scott. A little slow.
Let's be sir. I apologize.
Oh, it was the judge's fault.
Quetiapine is an antipsychotic medication.
Last one. What is quetiapine? Quetiapine?
Quetiapine is an antipsychotic medication. It's called Seroquel.
Okay.
It It's a prescription, mental health medication that's prescribed for different things.
Kouri's like, okay, whoops, that's mine.
I gotcha.
The quetiapine in the toxicology for Eric Richins shows that Kouri Richins was involved because she was prescribed quetiapine. Now, this conversation that she recorded with Dr. Christensen is also very insightful. She pretends to not know what quetiapine is. It's her prescription. Of course she knows what it is. She pretends to not know what it is to cover up her involvement in putting the quetiapine inside Eric's body. She feigns the ignorance. She covers up her conduct in murdering Eric Richins in several ways throughout, beginning the night she murdered him, all the way through the walk the dog letter. In the orange notebook, she writes, she jumped out of bed, ran, turned on the lights, grabbed her phone, and called 911. The evidence proves that is not true. The evidence proves that when she returned to their bedroom, Kouri Richins says she was in Ashton's room. There's no evidence of that. But she returned from somewhere to their bedroom, unlocked her phone, put it on speaker. There's no call detail records showing a call at that time. But she may have called on Wi-Fi. Somebody. That would not appear in the call detail records. It would appear on her phone.
Oh, Viv.
If her phone had not been deleted.
All right, I'm putting this on regular speed. What up, Viv? Hey, Christine. This part is so fucking crazy. I'm putting it on regular speed. It's awesome because the judge layeth the smackdown on those candy asses.
Shut up, bitch!
Watch this.
But she may have called on Wi-Fi. Somebody. That would not appear in the call detail record.
Look at this idiot. Look at this
It would
idiot.
appear on her phone if her phone had not.
And by the way, the entire time, almost the entire time, you can hear these jabronis whispering. You hear, pss, 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 pss. You can hear these idiots whispering, so out of control. Like someone had told, either the court should have muted their mics, or someone should have told them to shut their pie holes.
Been deleted.
Objection, Your Honor.
I mean, very clearly, Wendy Lewis, the only reason Wendy Lewis is objecting, first of all, of course they objected during the opening. Of course they did. But the only reason she's doing it is because Kouri's making a fucking scene.
Objection, Your Honor. These are facts that are not.
Please have a seat.
Overruled. Sit down. Overruled. Sit your ass down.
Shut up, bitch!
That was essentially Judge Mrazek in his own way saying,
Shut up, bitch!
like, are you kidding me? What are you doing? Oh, I got a good clip for Wendy Lewis. Here we go.
Boo, Wendy. Liar.
This was originally for Wendy Adelson, but it works for Wendy Lewis.
Boo, Wendy. Liar.
She then unlocked her phone again at 3:08, 3:10, 3:15, 3:19, 3:19. And then 15 minutes later, she called 911. That is not immediately called 911. Perhaps she was staging the scene during these 15 minutes. We're going to discuss the 911 call in a minute. This is a receiver activation. At 3:22:12, when we're in the 911 call, she's on receiver on her phone. The 911 call operator asks her, "Are you on speakerphone?" She says yes. No. She's on receiver. Before we play this, sorry, we're going to listen to the first part, actually most of the 911 call again.
Damn it, Scott. You started it too early, Scott.
I ask that as you listen to it, you'll hear the first minute. The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney.
Oh, got to put this on the normal speed. This was a banger. This was a banger from Bloodworth. This reminded me of that GIF where, like, on Twitter where it's like the writing is on fire, like the pen is on fire. This is a banger right here.
The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney, the first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow.
Oh, snap, son.
Listen to how Kouri Richins...
Oh, that's right, bitch. That was great. That was great.
On the 911 call, immediately presents, very soon after the call begins, presents her alibi narrative. Listen to how she tells the 911 dispatcher where she was when Eric died. She is distancing herself. Rather than, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, I have to figure out what to do, I need help, she's saying, hey, look, I was not there, I was in my son's room. That's her alibi. She's distancing herself from the time and the place that she murdered Eric. The 911 call operator asks her to perform CPR. Notice how she distances herself from that. No, I don't know how. No, he's too heavy. No, I can't move him. She is not immediately trying to revive him. We're going to run a clock from the time that the dispatcher asks her if she can start CPR to the time she purportedly...
This was brilliant, too. The clock, brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, I'm just a jabroni moron, but I think this is a great, great job.
Starts it. It's 6 minutes. Listen, please, to the portion of the 911 call where the operator instructs Kouri Richins how to remove Eric from the bed. Listen how the dispatcher says, move to the side of the bed. Kouri Richins says she does. Remove the pillows. Pull the arm, pull the leg, lift up the sheet, pull him off. If Kouri Richins is following the instructions of the 911 dispatcher, Eric Richins' body is on the floor on the side of the bed, not the foot of the bed where it was found. Listen also to her choice of language. She has dehumanized Eric Richins.
Oh, this too. I didn't even notice this during this part two about the language. So good. I didn't even notice it when they played it initially.
When she is talking about removing Eric from the bed and she is protesting and she's saying she cannot, she is not saying I can't move him. She is saying I can't move it. Eric is no longer a him to him. She murdered Eric. Eric is an it. Finally, listen to when she says she is performing CPR and the phone is on speaker. The phone's not on speaker. Determine whether she's performing CPR. Okay, Scott.
My husband's not breathing. He's cold. Okay, what's the address? 282 Willow Court. 282 Willow Court? Uh-huh. Okay, what's the phone number in case you get disconnected? 435 671 1987. Okay, it's going to be in Francis? Uh-huh. Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I don't know. I just came in. I was sleeping with my kids. Okay, I can't understand you. I need you to take a deep breath. What's going on? I don't know. I was sleeping in with my kids. I just came in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. I turned the light on. And he's not breathing? No. He's not breathing? No. I need you to confirm it for me. Is he not breathing? No. Okay, can you do CPR? No, I don't know how. You don't know? I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. No, that's not available. Okay. I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
The director at Law and Crime was working the emotions here, showing the Eric's dad and I believe his wife holding hands. He was really doing some directing.
Okay. Okay. Are you right by your husband right now? Yeah, he's so pale. His mouth is open. Okay, listen carefully. Are you able to lay him on the floor or the ground? On the ground? I'm just shaking. I can't touch him. I can't. You can do it. You can do it. You need to calm down. Okay? We need to help him. I can guide you through CPR. Take a deep breath for me. I'm here with you. He doesn't have a pulse. He doesn't have a pulse? No. There's no pulse. Okay, I'm here with you.
I've been corrected. That was Katie and her husband. Sorry, my bad. Holding hands.
I'm here with you. We need to get him help. If you need to put me on speaker, put me on speaker. I'm going to guide you through CPR, okay? Okay. Tell me when you've done that.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, he's on the floor?
He's on the bed.
Okay, are you able by any chance to move him on the floor?
Okay. Spots on it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
I'm here with you. You're not able to move him to the floor?
Go out. Don't come in here. Don't come in here. Oh my god, my sister.
You're not able to move him to the floor? Just listen carefully. We just need to get him on the floor. Don't worry about hurting them.
No, he's just too heavy.
Is he still on the bed?
Yes.
Okay, if there's a sheet or a blanket under them, can you loosen it from the mattress?
Yes.
Okay, stand at the side of the bed closest to them and remove anything under their head.
Okay.
Okay? I need you to pull the sheets towards you and slide them off the bed. Don't worry about him falling. We just need to help him now.
Okay.
Tell me when he's on the floor.
I can't move it. It's a dead weight. Like it's just...
You're not. If he has sheets under, pull them to the floor. Don't worry about hurting him.
Can you please send somebody?
Okay, I have the ambulance that's on the way. Okay, there's another way to do this, okay? Grab their feet. Grab his feet. Slide.
All right, real quick. I see people are telling me that the law firm of Dumb and Dumber has released a statement. So let's see here. Here is the law firm and Dumber statement. After 3 weeks of testimony and closing arguments, this case is finally where it belongs, in the hands of the jury. We are grateful to the jurors for the seriousness and care they have shown throughout this trial. They have listened closely to every witness and every piece of evidence, and we respect the responsibility they now carry. For nearly 3 years, the public has heard accusations about Kouri. Those accusations created a narrative that spread far beyond this courtroom, but in court, accusations are not enough. The law requires proof. After 3 weeks of testimony, the prosecution has failed to prove its case. The standard in this country is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That burden has not been met. Kouri has maintained our innocence from the very beginning. Over the past several weeks, the jury has had the opportunity to hear the full evidence, not the headlines, not the speculation, but the facts. We believe in the jury system, and we trust the process. Kouri should finally be able to go home to her 3 young boys and begin rebuilding her life. And what I have to say about that is...
Shut up, bitch!
Fuck you. You fucking losers. They literally had to, say... Wendy Lewis had to say, and her... I'll hopefully get to it here, but she had to be like, listen, jury, if we insulted you because we suck, you please don't take that into consideration. Shut up, you fucking morons.
Slide them towards you until they're just off the bed. How old is your husband?
39.
39?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, were you able to pull his feet off the bed?
Thankfully.
Okay, now grab the arm closest to you and pull the rest of the way off the bed. Again, don't worry about the fall. We just need to help them now. I have the ambulance on the way. I just need you to do this, okay, so we can get the help for him.
Okay.
When they arrive, they'll take over. We just need to start CPR now. You are doing great, okay? I just need you to get him on the floor.
Okay, on the floor.
You got him on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, listen carefully, okay? Make sure that there's nothing under his head. Is he laying flat on his back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just listen carefully and I'll tell you how to do chest compressions, okay?
Okay.
Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone. This is in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Okay.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Okay.
Okay? Stop pumping the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second, and 2 inches deep. Okay, start counting out loud so I can count with you, okay? We're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Let me know when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count out loud so I can hear you. I'm counting with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. If it's easier for you, am I on speaker?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know the front door is open?
No, it's locked.
I need you to go. Is there anybody else within the home, or is it just you?
It's all my kids.
Okay. Are one of them old enough to go and lock the door?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
It's unlocked now?
Yeah, he's here. He's there.
Okay.
The protesting. It was part of the 6-minute delay in Kouri Richins performing CPR. I can't move it. It is just dead weight. Contrast that 911 call with her self-serving text message to her best friend, Chelsea Barney.
Like another thing, so good. Bringing in, comparing and contrasting with what she's telling other people. So good.
I tried so fucking hard to save him, his lifeless body on my bedroom floor. I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life, that I needed him. None of that happened. She's covering up her involvement in murdering Eric Richins. Recall the alibi narrative at the beginning of the 911 call. Her letting the 911 operator and everyone know that she was not with Eric when he died. I was somewhere else. I was distant in place and time. When she calls her father-in-law, Eric's dad, Gene Richins, what does she say right at the outset? I was sleeping with Ashley and I came into the room. Gene, I wasn't there. Wasn't me. When Eric's sister Katie arrives, he wasn't breathing. I went to bed. I was in Ashton's room. He was having nightmares. I wasn't there. It was not me. Her alibi. Her cover-up. This is the written form that sheriff's deputies gave Kouri Richins early morning of March 4th to write out what happened. It says, describe in detail what you saw, know, or heard of the incident. Where did she start? Eric and I put the kids to bed around 9 p.m. We had a drink. In Kouri Richins' mind, that's when the incident started. It was the drink, and she knew it because she put the fentanyl in the drink. She didn't start with, I walked into the bedroom at 3 a.m. My husband was not breathing and cold. Describe the incident. The incident for her begins around 9:15 when she has the drink, because she knows that is, in fact, when the incident began. And then more of her self-serving alibi narrative. It wasn't me, I wasn't there, before she gets into really what matters. Intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins. We know it was intentional because she planned the immediate reaction. When she spoke with Eric's sister, Katie, very shortly after medical examiners rolled Eric Richins' body out of his home for the last time, she told Katie that she was going to she was going to follow through with the purchase of the Midway mansion. She was going to sell the home that she was living in. And she had a plan for running Eric's business, C&E. The morning of Eric's death. She had those plans in place because she knew she was going to murder Eric. She had already thought about not only murdering him, but what I'm doing immediately after murdering him. Her plan with
Patricia asked Jay, when do you predict we may have a verdict? And Linda just gave a $2 super chat. Thank you, Linda. I mean, clearly I don't think it's going to be today. And I would be surprised if it was tomorrow, maybe late in the afternoon. But I'm going Wednesday morning, maybe afternoon. I mean, they got a lot of charges they got to discuss. It's not just one charge. And they got a lot of stuff to go through. So I don't think, obviously not today, I don't think. If they came back today, that would be insane in my opinion. And I don't think tomorrow. My guess is Wednesday afternoon. That's my guess. Put it in the chat. What do you guys think?
The mansion is consistent with her dream of living there with Josh Grossman running it as an event center, farming, and raising Eric's kids. Her plan to sell the home she lived in proves that she had no idea that home was in a trust. And she couldn't.
I mean, listen, I obviously think she's guilty, and I think the prosecution did so much better than the defense, but I've seen some crazy jury decisions. And I mean, I have someone in my comments who's giving me shit about this case who still continues to think that Brian Kohlberger is innocent, despite him, confessing to it or pleading guilty. So, like, if someone like that is on the jury, they're going to get a hung jury. I don't think there's any way they're going to knock guilty, but I guess we'll see.
Her plan on running Eric Richins' half of C&E shows that she did not understand the buy-sell agreement, the life insurance coverage on the buy-sell agreement, or that life insurance coverage went to the trust, not her. The morning Eric died, she had a plan on how she was spending Eric's money and didn't realize it was trust money. We know that Kouri Richins intended to kill Eric. The evidence proves that she intended to kill Eric, in part based on her conversation with Josh Grossman shortly after killing Eric. Kouri Richins asked Josh if he had ever killed anybody. Killed was her word. Not have you ever lost a loved one. How do you agree? Not have you ever walked in and found a dead body unexpectedly. Not how do you respond to a tragic and horrible accident. It is have you killed? And then she asked how it made him feel. She asked that because she was working through her own feelings on killing.
This is so key to me. Such a key point. Like, after he's dead, she's asking this dude if how does it feel to kill someone. He never testified that she ever asked before. She knew he was a vet. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks after, she's asking, how does it feel to kill someone? I mean, come on. Why else would she ask that?
And wanted Josh to help her work through those feelings. And never mind that that's a highly selfish question. She's worried about working through her feelings on killing. Never mind Josh Grossman's feelings on having had to have killed in service of his country. It was her feelings that mattered. Walk the dog letter. There's a lot to unpack in this. But right now, let's unpack the fact that Kouri Richins says Eric gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico. She goes on to talk and says, Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico. Some refers back to pain pills in Mexico from fentanyl. Sorry, pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico. Kouri Richins knows 4 months after she's been arrested for Eric Richins' murder, a year and a half after she murdered him, she knows that she bought fentanyl, and she has to explain it. And how does she explain it? A year and a half after murdering Eric Richins, she blames it on Eric. Oh, I bought it for Eric. That's the sum of the evidence. Her self-serving statement asking her brother to testify falsely that she brought it from Eric. For Eric. A year and a half after she murdered him. Kouri Richins did not tell the 911 dispatcher, hey, I just bought some fentanyl for Eric. She didn't tell the paramedics, he might be dying from the fentanyl I just bought for him. He didn't tell the deputies that responded. He didn't tell Detective Woody. He didn't tell Dr. Ulmer, didn't tell Christensen, didn't tell her friends, didn't tell her family. All the off-ramps she had the opportunity to take to say, hey, I bought the fentanyl for Eric. She doesn't, because it did not happen. She did not concoct this story until a year and a half after she killed him. And it is a story. It's a fake story that she wants her brother to testify to. There are, of course, other inaccuracies. Kouri Richins in the Orange Notebook writes, self-servingly, when the EMT walked up to me and said he didn't make it We did all we could. I lost it. I immediately ran to the bathroom. This is the video of when the EMT walked up to her.
Oh my God, oh my God, what do you mean? He was just fighting, he was just fighting.
Family members are becoming his dad.
I don't understand what happened, I don't understand.
Your kids are right there in that part. There's two to the left. Yeah, I think the master bedroom. Or the master bedroom. Basically, she said went to bed at 9:30. She slept with the kids because she goes to bed when she went to bed. And around 3 o'clock, moved in her bed.
We'll stop it there. We could play it for several more minutes. She doesn't immediately or otherwise run to the bathroom and throw up. When people make up stories, they are inconsistent in the retelling. Here, in the Orange Notebook, Kouri Richins says they make the...
Real quick, Shiraz just bought 5 coffees. Thoroughly enjoy watching trials with you, Jay. Hope you and Shannon are both doing well. Hugs to you both. Thank you so much, Shiraz. And then Pam, $10 with elephant and a poop emoji. Thank you so much, guys.
The Moscow Mule and the Lemon.
Tom says it is Wendy. Absolutely. That sounds so much. I made a video. If you guys haven't seen it, a short, go to my page on any channel, and I played both Wendy and her next to each other. It's like the same thing.
Drop shot in the kitchen, and then they go to bed and brush their teeth. Here, they drink it in the bedroom, not the kitchen. Kouri Richins tells her attorney, it's on the right, she tells her attorney that Eric was on the phone when she went into Ashton's bedroom. But Eric Richins' phone activity tells a different story. Kouri Richins repeatedly said that she went into Ashton's bedroom 9:30, 9:45. Eric was off the phone before 9. In the Orange Notebook, Kouri Richins says that Eric was awake when she went into Ashton's room. In that rambling phone call with Bryce Knutson that Chelsea Barney recorded, she suggests that he was asleep because she says when she returned to the bedroom about 3 a.m., Eric was in the exact same position as he was when he fell asleep. That means she was there when he fell asleep, not in Ashton's room. Her story is inconsistent in the details. That proves that much of it is fake. We've read text messages throughout this presentation. We'll continue to publish some more for you to read. None of those text messages were recovered from Kouri Richins' phone. They were recovered from Eric's phone, Chelsea Barney's phone, Josh Grossman's phone, but not Kouri Richins' phone, because they were deleted. That is part of her cover-up. When comparing the contents of the phone with few to no text messages, with the contents of the call detail records, with thousands of text messages, that's how we know they were deleted. When Detective Woody executed the first of the search warrants on April the 13th, 2022, and she informed Kouri Richins that toxicology showed that Eric died of fentanyl poisoning, Detective Woody seized her phone. On her phone that she got to replace the seized phone, on the phone that Kouri Richins got to replace the seized phone, these are the searches. What was Kouri Richins worried about? She was worried about the police recovering all her deleted text messages. Why? They're inculpatory. They would further prove that Kouri Richins bought drugs from Carmen Lauber to then murder Eric Richins. Her phone searches reveal what she was thinking. She's worried about being investigated. She's worried about having to take a lie detector test. She's worried about my office. She's worried about her seized electronics. Prison is on her mind. So is money. She's interested in the life insurance. We don't know precisely when these searches were conducted. It's just not in the digital data. We have the data we have. But we do know that she hasn't been paid out yet on life insurance. And she started getting paid out in June of 2022. And this phone she got in April of 2022. So the inference is that these searches occur between April and June of 2022. This one's the most insightful. If someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as? She did search if someone accidentally ODs. She doesn't search if somebody is dead for unknown reasons. She searches if somebody is poisoned, because that is what happened. Now we have to prove that Kouri Richins intended to murder Eric Richins, which means we have to prove that Eric Richins did not commit suicide. Kouri herself says he didn't. No mental health concerns. But the other evidence proves it as well. Eric had every reason to live, the first three of which are Carter, Ashton, and Weston. He was a phenomenal father. He protected his boys. He put...
This is a great part, too, I thought, where he points out what a good dad Eric was.
His money in trust, mostly for the benefit of them, to protect them. He was a protector. He's not leaving his boys. He was also planning for the future. He was a successful business person, and he and Cody had future business plans. He had future plans with his sister. They were planning family vacation to Disneyland. He was planning on buying a cabin in the Uintas with his father for the family. Every shred of evidence in this case proves that Eric did not commit suicide. This wasn't an accidental overdose. Eric Richins did not use drugs. He did not use illicit drugs. Set aside THC gummies. Kouri Richins said no, never to Deputy Wynn and Paramedic Offred.
This is so good. It's such a good visual presentation.
These are people that it would have made sense to tell he used illicit drugs to in the moment as Paramedic Offred's trying to save Eric's life. But no, she was honest. Nope, never. Same thing with Dr. Ulmer as they're reviewing the toxicology and trying to explain the fentanyl. Right? Dr. Ulmer's like, well, there's this fentanyl, really can't explain it. Did he do illicit drugs? No, never. Grossman. She's honest with anybody. She's honest with Grossman. No, Eric did not use drugs. Her best friend, another person she's honest with. Nope. Life insurance company? No. Chief medical examiner? No. And every bit of evidence that came into this case, everyone who testified and knew Eric well, his friends, his family, no, Eric didn't use illicit drugs. Not even prescription drugs. Your Honor, this might be a good place to take a break.
Let's do it. Folks, one moment, just a friendly reminder. Don't talk about the case. Don't allow anybody to talk to you about it. Do not do anything with your devices during this break related to this case.
We don't have to take a break.
Please have a seat.
We were looking at the aggravated murder charge. I mentioned the first two elements are murder, and then we get into the two aggravators. So the closing up until now has been the murder charge. That is straight murder, but the state, of course, has charged aggravated murder. So now we'll talk about the two aggravators. The why aggravator, money motive, and the how aggravator, administering any substance in a lethal amount. You'll recall Brooke Carrington's testimony. And when she began her forensic accounting analysis, this drew her attention. The number of overdraft and non-sufficient funds transactions beginning in April. That jumped from 1 in September to 37 in October, beginning in October. That jumped from 1 in September to 37 in October to 77 in December. And Brooke Carrington's analysis was the beginning of the downward financial death spiral. Then Ms. Carrington analyzed the overall debt, and it showed a growing debt picture nearing $8 million in debt when Kouri Richins closed on the Midway Mansion. All the while, she's not paying it off. She's barely sending her creditors any money. and it's never an increasing amount of money. It's flat. The payday loans particularly show distress to Ms. Carrington. This isn't a traditional.
Brooklyn's in the house, one of the rare people that have their own custom sound effect.
Brooklyn, so Brooklyn. Mortgage. This isn't even hard money lending. This is give me money today, I'll give you money when you get paid at an extraordinary, exorbitant interest rate. And when Brooke Carrington solved this, she sees the line here go flat. Payday lenders would no longer lend to Kouri Richins. She was barely paying them off, or barely paying towards them. Kouri Richins lost money flipping homes. You heard Brooke Carrington testify about the extraordinary growth and unsustainable level of growth for even sophisticated business people. Kouri Richins is not a sophisticated business person. She didn't even understand fundamental accounting, fundamental tax reporting. Brooke Carrington plotted out the profitability analysis of each of Kouri Richins' home flips.
When Brooke Carrington was doing this, she's like, wow, this is the dumbest person that I've ever had to analyze.
Kouri Richins, when she bought a home, when you total up the home she bought and the loan she took out, she started her projects $2 million in the hole. When she was finished her projects, of money that Brooke could trace to expenses, she could only trace about half of it to expenses because Kouri Richins did not conduct normal accounting. Kouri Richins lost $469,000 on her home flips. But recall that Brooke Carrington testifies there's this other pot out there of $400,000 that I know she lost. I just can't trace it to a particular project. When you add those up, it's nearly $900,000 lost in flipping homes alone. Recall that Brooke Carrington said that does not count the foreclosures. While deliberating, you'll have this, and on the second page, you'll see all the foreclosures. She lost millions more in foreclosures, to include foreclosures on Chelsea Barney's home and the Midway Mansion. Kouri Richins would borrow money by any means necessary. 6 times, she submitted inaccurate bank statements to lenders to get money. Those bank statements reflected her business account and balances in C&E's business account. This evidence proves the level of financial desperation that Kouri Richins was in late 2021 and early 2022.
Abby says, like, how is she getting more loans? And I think what we've learned in this country is it doesn't matter if you are rich or you can pretend or present like you're rich, like really rich. The same rules don't apply to you that apply to everyone else. If I would have done that shit, I mean, I overdrawn. If I go over like $20, I'm sure that I'm getting fucking, getting fees and shit. But when if you're rich or you can present like you're rich, same laws don't apply to you in this country.
Next level of financial desperation is taking $45,000 of your best friend's hard-earned cash tips from waitressing, telling her that you are going to apply that as a down payment to a mortgage on her house where she lives with her partner and her children. And then,
I mean, even if you don't think that she had to deal with, if she had anything to do with Eric Stass or there's reason for that, whatever, this is one of the shittiest fucking things. I mean, obviously murder is worse, but stealing $45,000 from your BFF your whole entire life, I mean, what a scumbag.
diverting part of it to pay off Fund 5 Merchant, a payday lender, and spending the remainder of it, as Brooke Carrington testified, on expenses to rehabilitate homes and servicing existing debt. Then, telling your friend, your best friend, since middle school, that you applied the money to the loan, here's the deed, sign the deed, and then not filing it. And you will see, if you review that Brooke Harrington's schedule that had all the property transactions, you'll see that not only did Kouri Richins not file the deed, she took out another loan on the house. That's the loan that was foreclosed on, that resulted in Chelsea Barney, her partner, and their children getting evicted and losing their life savings. That is the next level of financial desperation that Kouri Richins was in January 2022. There's the tax liabilities. In the grand scheme of the amount of debt, 150 grand in tax liabilities is de minimis, but they were on her mind. There's an interesting little nugget here. She underreported her expenses in flipping homes to her tax account, which resulted in her paying more taxes than she would have. One would think, a sophisticated business person would think to limit their tax liability. That's not what interested Kouri Richins. What interested her was the appearance of success in business, the appearance.
Neely says, Judge coming back in. All right, guys. So we're at, look, I'm going to go by the time. So should I go live? Is he coming back? It's 10:32 a.m. I'm going to forget. It's 10:32 a.m. on here. So when I go back to see what time we were at, I'm thinking guilty, Tracy. I'm thinking they come back guilty. And I'm thinking they come back Wednesday afternoon. 10:32. All right, 10:32 a.m. Let's go live. Oh, they didn't stop the clock yet, so I don't know if anything's really going on. You usually stop the clock if there's no way there's a verdict now, but the clock is still going here. All right, let me go back.
Savings. If the IRS after $87,000 murdered Eric, Eric's long-term earning potential, immaterial. She wanted to close on the Midway Mansion. She had no money to refurbish it, to flip it right away, to run it as an event center. But she was going to close on it. She needed money now. Doesn't matter if Eric's going to earn a ton of money down the road. That does not help her now with the Midway Mansion. It does not help her now with servicing her existing debt. She needs money now because she's closing on the Midway Mansion on March the 4th. And when she closes on the Midway Mansion...
If anyone's like watching and they do go live, just let me know. I'll go live.
It's worth $2.9 million. She's borrowing $3.2 million. None of it's her money. She's reaching into other people's pockets to get that money. Not only does she want money to purchase the Midway Mansion, she wants $87,000 for herself. She takes out $87,000 at closing, and how does she spend it? Servicing existing debt and expenses for rehabs. She ultimately closed on the Midway Mansion the day after she murdered Eric. There's an interesting thought here. Did she close on the Midway Mansion in spite of murdering Eric? Or did she close on it because she murdered Eric? She hedged. She was supposed to close on the 4th. She didn't want to close.
You hear that shit?
Until she knew it.
You hear that shit? That pisses me off so much. And I assume the jury hears that too. If we can hear it, listen to this fucking whispering. Psst, psst, psst. Shut up! Shut up or move your mic. He probably heard it too, but he wouldn't say.
She didn't want to close until she knew Eric Richins was dead. Because she knew she would have his money. She knew she could do something with the mansion. And that's why when everybody else signed on the 4th, or in advance of the 4th, she signed on the 5th. It's unconscionable that she closed in spite of his death. It's unconscionable that she closed because of his death. This is probably Kouri Richins' true plan for the Midway Mansion. And if Eric had not put most of his assets into trust, it could have happened. Recall Brooke Harrington's testimony that after closing on the Midway Mansion, Kouri Richins' liabilities were right about $8 million, and she was in the hole $1.6 million. Her net worth was negative $1.6 million when she murdered Eric. And that her business was in financial distress, her financial enterprise was collapsing, had been collapsing, and but for a significant infusion of cash and capital would continue to collapse. That significant infusion of cash and capital was supposed to be Eric Richins' money. You have a fortunate perspective during this case in that you get to observe the defendant. You get to observe Kouri Richins. And you observe her affect with some when some witnesses testify, and you observe her affect change when other witnesses testify. You observed that when we played the 911 call during trial, her affect was flat, no emotion. You also observe that when Brooke Harrington testified about the financial distress of her business.
Oh, this part is so good. This part is so good. Bloodworth, you dog. He's got that dog in him.
She was exorcised because that testimony pierced her facade. It pierced her facade of being a successful, privileged, and affluent person. It was a narcissistic injury. She was bothered because the world saw that she is indeed.
That whispering right there is probably them like, oh, that's it. We got it. Mistrial. I can't believe he said that. We're going to make a motion. We're going to win on mistrial, and we totally won't look like morons in front of the judge. That's what's going to happen. That's why they're whispering. That's what they're saying.
Not a success. And not affluent. The bulk of Eric Richins' estate was in insurance coverage. Some of it got paid out to the trust. Some of it got paid out to Kouri Richins. Kouri Richins knew this, knew that much of his estate was insurance coverage. And different than taking money from Eric's home equity, different than taking money from Eric's bank account, to take Eric's insurance money, Eric has to die. Now for the aggravator of administration of any substance in a lethal amount. The substance here happened to have been fentanyl, could have been any part of the illicit street drug that she bought, happened to be fentanyl that she administered in a Moscow Mule and a shot or a shot. But we know that's how she administered it because it was in his belly. We know it was a lethal amount.
Their stupid fucking faces.
The death certificate, fentanyl killed him. That's the substance, lethal amount. Can be as small as 3 nanograms per milliliter. And in this case, he had 15. 5 times what can be a lethal amount. That, by the way, is not an accident. That amount of fentanyl shows that Kouri Richins wanted Eric not only dead, but good and dead. Now, count 2, the aggravated murder. The elements are the same as count 1. The only difference is attempt. Attempt requires, as the court instructed, a substantial step. There's plenty of substantial steps from ordering the drugs to making.
Yeah, Shannon was so right. Why is Kouri Richins? Oh, yes, we know Kouri Richins. We don't need her as a bulleted item on this list. Shannon called that out. For those who don't know, that's my wife. When we were watching, and she's so right. Like, why is she a bulleted item? We know it's Kouri Richins. Like,
there's plenty of substantial steps from ordering the drugs to making the Moscow Mule. Here, the aggravated murder count proves the attempted aggravated murder count and vice versa. The commonalities between Kouri Richins' conduct are not coincidental.
Plus, the top of every slide has like what this slide is about. So good.
In each instance, she purchased drugs from Carmen Lauber a few days out. In each instance, she spoke with the IRS a few days out. Taxes were on her mind. Eric would find out if the IRS was after them. In each case, she had an immediate financial stressor. We just discussed closing on the Midway Mansion. If you look at Brooke Carrington's materials, she had a note due on Chelsea Barney's house shortly before February the 14th. She had an immediate financial stressor in each instance. In each instance, she administered the substance in a way that Eric would ingest it. On Valentine's Day, it was a sandwich. When she murdered him, it was a drink. Notice that she learned from her mistake. One can season a sandwich with fentanyl. Eric can eat it, tell something's wrong, set the fentanyl-laced sandwich aside. You throw a lemon drop shot back. By the time Eric would notice, the shot was in. It was in his body. Moscow Mule, just to be good and sure.
Christine with the $5 super chat. Thanks for doing this. Love the fun banter and for speaking New Jersey. Yeah, Long Island. I'm Long Island, and I don't know. There's a funny episode of The Daily Show. They have people from Long Island and New Jersey, and I think they call them twins. Something about twins, and it's so true. Thank you, Christine.
In each case, she leaves Eric alone. She distances herself from the dirty deed. She leaves the bedroom when she murders him. She leaves the county when she attempts to murder him. That's part of her alibi. Not only can she not be present, she has to be distant. So that when she calls 911, she says, I wasn't even there. I was in Utah County. And in each case, she has a delayed response, right? It's the delayed response in calling 911 when she murders him, and it's her delayed response in returning home when she failed to murder him. The element of, again, is it Kouri Richins? Yes. She is the person with the means, the motive, and the opportunity. Nobody else. The means, illicit street drugs in the sandwich. The motive, money, fresh start at life. The opportunity, she left the sandwich in Eric's truck. Intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins, right? It's attempt, so attempted to cause the death of Eric Richins. The same reasons. She told Becky Lloyd it would be better if he were dead. She wanted the Michael Jackson stuff, the lethal stuff, the fatal stuff, the stuff that kills. She wanted Eric Richins' life insurance. You only get life insurance when Eric's dead. The commonalities persist. Kouri Richins ordered fentanyl from Carmen Lauber, or ordered something from Carmen Lauber, the Michael Jackson stuff, the fatal stuff. Carmen says, I told her I could get her fentanyl. She said, okay, get the fentanyl. But she ordered illicit street drugs from Carmen Lauber, who got them from Robert Crozier at the Maverick in Draper. Again, the volume of calls during the drug purchase between both Kouri Richins and Carmen Lauber and Robert Crozier and Carmen Lauber. And recall, we don't have the content of the texts because they were deleted from Kouri Richins' phone, deleted from Carmen Lauber's phone, and Crozier lost his phone. The IRS was on her mind. She called him twice, 3 days before attempting to murder Eric Richins. We know she placed the call to the Mirror Lake Diner to order a potentially fatal sandwich. We know that
Linda says, this is only my second time on your channel. I had no idea you were from Long Island. Originally from Dix Hills myself. I knew there was something about you I really liked. Well, welcome. And Suffolk County represented. Welcome, Linda.
Kouri ordered it. Kouri picked it up in person. It was swiped. Don't know if you can tell that's Kouri Richins' signature, but notice it's one stroke. There's no pen lift. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Kouri Richins then distanced herself. She left the sandwich for Eric, and she drove an hour away to meet up with Josh Grossman on Valentine's Day. There's another commonality between the attempted murder and the murder, of course. They're big days. Losing your husband on Valentine's Day, that garners extra sympathy.
This is another thing that I hadn't thought of before he pointed it out. It's so true. Valentine's Day, the closing, it's a day that gets sympathy for you if you're the grieving spouse. That really was a great point, I thought.
Extra attention. Losing your husband the same day you're supposed to close on the biggest purchase of your life, that garners extra attention. The type of attention that Kouri Richins relishes in.
That's right. Very clear that you do. You can't even keep your stupid stank face straight for 5 fucking seconds. and you're making a face like he's lying. It's true. I've never seen a defendant this animated, like a total asshole. The entire trial, even in closing statements. Never seen it.
You heard Cody Richins testify how Eric was a cowboy when it came to injury or illness. He worked through it all. He cowboyed up. Cowboys don't go to the hospital unless they're near death. They don't even think about going to the hospital unless they're near death. And at 11:33, Eric's thinking about going to the hospital. And then all the activity, the physical activity on his phone ceases. For 87 minutes,
RN says Donna was a mess too. She was. That's a good point. Donna was a mess too. I mean, but she was the most of a mess after the verdict came in. But you're right. She was a mess too. That's true. Good point. But I don't think it's as bad as Kouri. Maybe it's just the recentness of it. But that's true.
In the middle of a busy workday.
But also, Judge Everett told her to fucking fix her stupid, dumb, old face.
Shortly after activity resumes in Eric's phone, he calls his best friend and business partner Cody Wright. Recall Cody said he could hear the fear in Eric's voice, a fear he'd only heard twice before, both times associated with death. A fear he heard when Eric told him his mother had passed away, and a fear he heard when someone who struck Eric's truck in an automobile accident, and Eric thought that person might have passed away. He then spoke with his hunting buddy and close friend Josh Kays. You know and learn a lot about somebody when you hunt together and travel together. And Josh Kays said Eric sounded somber and serious.
That is true. We all learned that during Brokeback Mountain. Not that these two were in a relationship, but a lot of stuff happens when you're out and about hunting. I've never hunted, by the way. I have a mouse motel, and I don't even kill the mice in my house, so I wouldn't know.
Josh asked Eric perhaps the two most pertinent questions. If he was going to the hospital, and what was he going to do about it? Let's turn to alley staking, singular, not plural. Clearly, close with Kouri. Friends since middle school. You observed the banter when Miss Staking was testifying, the banter between her and Kouri Richins. It was friendly. She's still friendly with her. And Allie Staking testified about how a week or two after Valentine's Day, when Kouri Richins attempted to murder Eric, when I questioned her, she said, well, Eric jokingly, kind of jokingly, maybe jokingly, said that Kouri Richins tried to poison me. Perhaps joking. But Kouri Richins' reaction is what was important here. Kouri said no. She got defensive. That is not what happened. It was like an allergic reaction or something. It wasn't at all dramatic. She is covering up her poisoning him. Then when defense counsel questioned Miss Staking, Ms. Staken kind of backed off the jokiness of Eric's comment and attributed the jokiness to everyone else. Ali Staken said, defense counsel questioned, what did he tell you? That he believed Kouri had tried to poison him. Maybe it was one of those joking things like, I'm sending a message to Kouri Richins. I know what you tried to do. I'm joking about it, but I'm going to let you know. Maybe he was serious. Either way, comes back to Kouri Richins trying to poison him on Valentine's Day. Kouri Richins repeatedly tries to cover up that she tried to murder Eric on Valentine's Day. She says she was home with him. She tells her best friend, Chelsea Barney, I was home with him. She was not. She was with Josh Grossman. She did not come home until after 6:30 p.m. She was saying he never broke out in hives or used an EpiPen. That means he broke out in hives and used an EpiPen. When she spoke with her mother on August the 22nd, when she says she didn't put a love note and the sandwich in the front seat of his truck, she put a love note and the sandwich in the front seat of his truck. She is trying to distance herself. She is trying to cover up. She is trying to deflect. When Eric said he was thinking about
Kathy with the $4.20 Venmo. Thank you for streaming, Jay. Thank you, Kathy. Always appreciate your support. And 420. Got you. Thank you.
heading to the hospital, what does she say? Take a nap. Call me when you're up.
When we were watching this, Shannon's like, why is she not like she's like, if this was you, I would be like following up and tell you to go to the hospital. Make sure you're okay.
She's saying that thinking he will take a nap and not wake up.
Yes, if you are wondering, you did see Sky Lazaro. She was in the gallery, Kouri's first attorney.
When he does, Eric texts Kouri. He's asking if she's home because he had just said, I'm going to hospital. Then he had stopped communicating, or he said, I'm thinking about going to the hospital, and then stopped communicating for nearly 2 hours. He's figuring she was coming home to assist him, but she wasn't. She's in Provo waiting for a cabinet installer guy. Maybe. She says then she's going to head home in 20 minutes. Nearly 2 hours later, question mark, where are you? You were heading home 20 minutes ago.
I never put this back to 1.5.
She responds,
my bad. Gotta get this done before 9. Gotta get both of them done before 9 because Babe needs the office.
Thanks for answering. Did you call? You didn't call.
Back to 1.5.
She thinks he's heading home. She's not. She's trying.
Oh, Abby says jury is staying later to keep deliberating. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Why stay later if you're not close? Oh my God, that would be insanity if they came back today. Holy shit.
Trying to figure out what to do. She's trying to figure out what to do because Eric survived. She had not planned on that. She is delaying to make her plan. And then at 6:34, Eric texts, "We're headed in there. Food is on the front seat of his truck." The same place she left the poisoned sandwich with the love note. Eric Richins is telling her, "I know what you did."
This fucking idiot in her dumb.
That is the attempted aggravated murder. That is the attempted murder. Now, of course, we have the two aggravators. They're the same. Same as with the aggravated murder. The money motive, same. Similar financial distress, same. There's also the fresh start at life motive, right? That hasn't changed a bit. Josh Grossman, it's Josh Grossman on Valentine's Day, and he's Josh Grossman on March the 4th. Money motive the same, fresh start at life motive the same. Now the second aggravator, administration of any substance in a lethal amount. Recall Dr. Eric Christensen's testimony that hives, EpiPen, all consistent with an opiate-like or an opiate allergic-like response, a pseudo-allergic response. Hives, EpiPen, along with zero activity, shows that Kouri Richins attempted to administer the illicit street drugs that she bought 3 days earlier from Carmen Lauber in a lethal amount. She just failed. Next slide. Okay, the insurance fraud. There are two insurance frauds. Let me distinguish them, please, for you. The first one is a scheme charge, a fraud scheme. The second one is a fraud claim charge. Count 3, the scheme charge relates to the $100,000 true stage policy. We're going to put it up in a minute. The fraud claim charge relates to the $250,000 true stage policy. The forgery, which we will get to, is a forgery related to count 3, the scheme charge. Let me unpack them now. Okay. Different than the aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder, I'll address all elements of the insurance fraud scheme kind of at once because they all jump out of this single page. And the scheme is quite simple. Kouri Richins wanted to murder Eric Richins, thus took out an insurance policy on his life to get money for murdering Eric Richins. Then she murdered Eric Richins, and then she submitted a claim to get the money. That is the scheme. And we know it was Kouri Richins because everything on this application for this $100,000 true stage insurance policy returns to Kouri Richins. Kouri Richins received the application because she was a member of PedFed. The application was addressed to her at her work address, so she would have been the one who received it. If there was any questions about it, any further follow-up mailings about it, they would go to her and not to Eric. This applicant information is all her, but the partner information is all her as well. Her work address, no email address where they could contact Eric. We'll get to the social security number in a minute. The primary phone, that's not Eric's phone. You'll see that Eric's phone is 801-792-9317. And when you look at this closely during deliberations, you'll see that was originally a 7 that she later marked up to read like an 8. She initially wrote his correct phone number, then did not want anyone from True States to call him, so she changed the 7 to an 8 so that Eric would never know that this policy existed. After Kouri Richins took $250,000 out of Eric's home equity, he put all of his insurance that he knew about into the trust. If Eric had filled this out, the beneficiary would have been the trust, not Kouri Richins. Then we'll get to the signature. That's the fraud count 5 as well. It plays into this. We'll talk to it during count 3, but it's also the freestanding charge in count 5. Let's go to the next page. The social security number was blacked out for privacy reasons on the application we just reviewed, but you'll recall Ann Coates testifying that the last 6 digits were transposed. We all know our own social security numbers. We often get a little bit confused on our spouses. Eric did not sign the application. Matt Throckmorton, the handwriting expert. Eric did not sign it. It was probably a simulated forgery. Recall his testimony that Eric Richins has.
Marilyn loves JJ. $5 super chat. Thank you. What is next on the plate after Kouri's goes down? It's likely going to be Courtney Clenny. Courtney Clenny. I was thinking maybe I'll do some streams to prepare for it because I believe it's at the end of April. Maybe rewatch the body cam because I did watch that, but that was a long time ago. That was like when I was first covering trials. Maybe some of the hearings. So Courtney Clenny will be the next one I cover, more than likely. All right.
Pen lifts in his signature. The forged one didn't have any pen lifts. You'll see Kouri Richins' signature throughout this case. No pen lifts. Then
Here comes your random J reference of the day that I don't know if anyone will get this. But when that expert came up with the forgery and just talking about the forgery, I just remember, I feel like it was a made-for-TV movie or maybe a Disney movie or something. It was about this dude who would forge shit. And he was like a teacher. It was like a kid's movie, I think. And he was like a teacher or something. And but he had previously gone to jail for forgery. And then he has like a class and all the kids like him, or one kid likes him. But then they find out he's a forger. And then he has to like save the day by forging something. I know this is a bizarre non sequitur, but does anyone know what I'm talking about? There has to, or maybe I'm just making it up, but there's like a movie about this guy. He was a forgerer, but he ended up being the hero.
Kouri Richins filed a claim for this $100,000 true stage policy. It's actually the same claim for both policies. And she said she really does not know where her husband, Eric, got the fentanyl from. Of course she knows. She ordered it from Carmen Lauber.
Chris says, just heard the jury has ordered food. Oh, boy. They're planning on staying late. Got to wait for the food to get there. Maybe they ordered from that diner. Just got a $50 Venmo from Farron. Thank you and Shannon for putting up with my jokes and comments. You've been a blast during this banana pants trial. Thank you so much, Farron. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
That is the fraud scheme.
And there Shannon says, she can't believe I never told that. The whole marriage is a lie. And now I'm getting a divorce. Great. Great.
Plan to kill Eric, fill out life insurance so I can get money for killing Eric, kill Eric, and then claim the money. Now for the insurance fraud claim count 4. This is the true stage $250,000 policy. This is the claimant's statement filled out. Kouri Richins beneficiary, Kouri Richins email, Kouri Richins address. Everything about this claim says Kouri Richins is submitting this claim. And then, like before, the fraud here, the falseness of it is she says she doesn't know where the fentanyl came from, when in fact she ordered illicit street drugs from Carmen Lauber. And indeed, later in the Walk the Dog letter, admits to asking Carmen for fentanyl. Finally, count 5, the forgery charge. We've discussed most of the forgery when we discussed count 3. But there's this without the authority to do so element. It's not a forgery if Eric gave Kouri Richins permission. The state has to prove that Kouri Richins did not sign Eric's name with permission, with authority. All of the evidence in this case proves that Kouri Richins does not ask for permission, she takes. She took with the home equity loan. She took other people's money. She's a taker, not an asker. Finally, like I mentioned earlier, Eric Richins, the evidence proves, would have put the trust as the beneficiary, not Kouri Richins. If he had given permission, it would have been permission to make the trust the beneficiary. That's the forgery charge. Let's please now turn to Kouri's motive for a fresh start at life. You heard the instructions. The state does not have to prove any motive, except for the pecuniary gain motive because it's an aggravator. But motive explains why Kouri murdered Eric Richins, why she attempted to murder him. Motive explains a lot here. These texts at this point are familiar. The day after Kouri Richins speaks with Becky Lloyd and tells Becky Lloyd she would be better if Eric were dead, she texts.
It wasn't Catch Me While You Can, but that was an amazing movie. This was like a made-for-TV movie, I feel like. It was not a high-budget film.
Josh Grossman that she's in love with him, a man not her husband. If I was divorced right now and asked you to marry me, would you? That's the day after the attempted murder. If he could just go away, and you could just be here, life would be so perfect. We're familiar with this text. We've read it already today. I ask you to read it again. This time, replace the word divorce with the word murder. This graphic shows a juxtaposition between Josh and Eric that is insightful to what Kouri thinks about each of them. In each instance, she is texting, well, she is kind of simultaneously texting. These are laid out chronologically. She is simultaneously texting with both Josh and Eric about closing on the Midway mansion. And she is so excited texting with Josh. I can't believe it. I want to celebrate with you. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you for always being my support, shoulder, and rock. I need you all the time. Some things I could never do without your encouragement. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. Eric tries to reach out. You want a shot? Can't. Sorry, busy. Then right back to Josh Grossman. To me, you're worth millions a year. I'm honored to be your best friend, your lover, your go-to. Life is going to be different, I promise. You're one hell of a patient person. I hate your hard days. I wish I could be there to turn them around for you. Can I try Friday? Give me a few days. Hang in there until then, please. By Friday, of course, Eric Richins was dead. Kouri had murdered him. She's right. Life's going to be different. She promised him. It was. Then, 16 days after Kouri Richins murdered Eric, are we there yet? And then 1 month later,
cooked.
Kouri's ready for Eric. Sorry,
She's
Kouri's
gotta
ready
be
for Josh
cooked.
to be her husband. Josh Grossman loved Kouri Richins. He believed that she loved him. Not sure that's true. You saw him testify. He was gutted. As a grown-ass man, gutted. You also observed Kouri Richins' affect.
Grown-ass man gutted. Bloodworth. Dog. He's got that dog in him. Yes, this is it. Oh, my God. I don't know how she did it. But Cynthia Hockert has found the movie I was referring to. Hold on. Damn it. No, my computer's not working. Hold on. Spooner, 1989. I was 9 years old. I wish I could play the trailer. Robert Urich was the forgerer. We got Jane Kaczmarek from Malcolm in the Middle. This is totally it. I don't know how you did it, Cynthia, but this is it. Walt Disney Home. It was a Disney movie. Thank you, Cynthia.
Testified. Flat. The evidence proves that Kouri Richins murdered, attempted to murder Eric Richins, and that she committed 2 counts of insurance fraud and forgery. The evidence does not support any other rational explanation.
Marilyn Love JJ, welcome to the Bows. Thank you so much.
The state, since its opening statement, has stressed the requirement to consider the evidence that has been admitted and not what the attorneys say. What the attorneys say, insinuate, speculate, is not evidence. Please let me show you why the state has stressed this. In the defense's opening statement, counsel said that...
Oh, this is the part where Bloodworth drags the defense for filth for their dumb opening. This was so good. This was such a good closing. So good.
The evidence will show that Kouri... In the defense's opening statement, counsel said that the evidence will show that Kouri Richins had a 1/2 interest in the Willow Court home. There is no evidence of that, and indeed contrary evidence. Defense counsel said that the evidence would show that Eric was always checking Kouri's phone. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the evidence will show Eric and Kouri Richins went to marriage counseling. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the evidence will show in the few weeks before Eric died, his closest friend thought that he and Kouri Richins were the happiest together that the friend had ever seen. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the night Eric died, he and Kouri Richins had their drinks and set their cups in the sink. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the evidence will show that the cups were sitting in the sink and the nanny put them in the dishwasher the next morning and they still had fluid in them. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that Eric talked to a friend named Scott Wagner at 10 p.m. the night he died. There's no evidence of that, and indeed contrary evidence. Defense counsel said that the evidence would show Eric unlocked Kouri Richins' phone at 10:30 p.m. the night he died, and this is the last thing that he did. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the evidence would show investigators interviewed Kouri over and over and over again about what happened the night that Eric died. There's no evidence of that. Defense counsel said that the evidence would show that law enforcement secretly recorded Kouri Richins' phone conversations for over a year after Eric died. There's no evidence of that, and indeed contrary evidence. Defense counsel said that you will hear Kouri Richins telling her family that she purchased pain pills for Eric at his request. You did not hear that, although she did write it in the Walk the Dog letter 4 months after she was arrested. In listening to defense counsel's closing argument, please only consider the evidence that has been admitted.
Ms. Lewis.
So I have to say, I have one critique, maybe more, but one critique about Bloodworth. He did the same thing during the openings. When he's done, he just walks off. Like, he doesn't say, like, just say thank you. So we know you're done. Just say thank you, Jerry. He just walks off. He did the same thing during the opening. Like, dude, just say thank you. That's whatever. He just walks off. It's always so funny. All right, now, folks, if you missed this before, wait to get your... Watch this shit.
Stretch your legs, use the restroom. Please rise for the jury.
Wendy Lewis has something they have to talk about. And then the dumbest idiot to ever dumb stands up and is a dumb dummy. Putting this one at normal speed made me so fucking mad when I was... The law firm...
We'd like to make a motion for mistrial.
Wait, we're putting this at regular speed. The law firm and Dumb and Dover have a motion they would like to make. So let's put this at regular speed.
Your Honor, at this point, we'd like to make a motion for mistrial and make a proffer on it.
But
first of all,
I missed that. First, Kouri has to pick her nose. Sorry, I missed that. First, Kouri has to pick me a winner, Kouri. Pick me a winner. I see what you're doing. Look at that. You were picking. You were digging in there. That wasn't a blowing your nose. You are picking your nose, girl. You can't fool me. Pick me a winner. She was digging for gold. Green gold. Watch this shit.
Your Honor, at this point, we'd like to make a motion for mistrial and make a proffer on it.
Oh, she's digging. She is digging.
First of all, at multiple points in the prosecution's closing, he made efforts to dehumanize the defendant, in fact, calling her a black widow, comparing her to a deadly spider, calling her a narcissist when there's been no evidence introduced to support that, no expert testimony.
I'm sorry. There's been evidence since day one that she's a fucking narcissist. Just look at her.
Nothing of the nature. Furthermore, it's completely improper.
She's still picking.
For the prosecution to comment on her demeanor while she sat at counsel table. That's a comment on her failure to testify. Asking the jury to take into consideration facial expressions, which in his opinion may or may not have happened. I don't know what he's basing that on, but it's improper, and it's our suggestion that is a comment.
Rob Zombie, senior citizen Aragorn, he can't believe this shit.
On her failure to testify by revealing what her response to testimony was, is calling upon her to testify in this case. Furthermore, in the closing, there was wild speculation on what was in Kouri Richins' mind, completely
wild speculation. Fuck off.
Made up by Mr. Bloodworth with no evidence whatsoever to support it. Also, Mr. Bloodworth wrongly told the jury that giving any illicit street drugs to Mr. Richins was sufficient to support aggravated murder. That, in fact, is not true. The only drug that would support aggravated murder would be fentanyl. What he said to the contrary is not consistent with the court's instructions, and we would ask that that be corrected with a curative instruction, that they should follow the court's instructions on what it takes. It would not be sufficient if she bought some other type of drug that did not cause his death. That's just not the law. Let's see, just a moment. I think that's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth? Forgive me. I need a little bit more detail as I go through these.
Yeah.
Which of these do you want a curative instruction regarding, and which of these are you moving for a mistrial on?
Moving for mistrial on all of it, Your Honor. The curative...
All of it. Just a mistrial on all of it. Bloodworth didn't even have to say anything back to it. He's like, this is bullshit. All of it. Just fucking whatever. Whatever you think, Judge.
Instruction, I think, is required by the wrongful information that giving him any illicit street drug is sufficient to support
We need a curative instruction on your client's stupid face.
Aggravated murder. That's just not true. And that's super important, because if they do believe that, there is evidence to make a finding that there was oxycodone. And there was no oxycodone found in his body. So that can't support a conviction. So that's what I think requires the curative instruction. The rest of it, I don't know any way you can cure it, Your Honor.
The Utah Court of Appeals disagrees with you regarding the prosecutor's comments.
This is Mrazek being as kind as he can, being like, you are dumb. You're a dumb, stupid idiot. You know how this is me. I'm a Judge Mrazek translator, kind of like Key and Peele did that sketch with Obama, I think it was. Kind of like how Bloodworth at the end translated Kouri's he did like a Duolingo for morons when he translated her Walk the Dog letter. This is Judge Mrazek, the nicest man in the world, saying, you are quite frankly the dumbest idiot I've ever seen in my life. You disgust me.
If cases talk about the potential prejudicial effect of an improper comment by a prosecutor only being able to be measured after the defense gives its closing and the state gives its rebuttal and we consider any curative instructions. What's your alternative position there? I could, for example, instruct the jury that that Mr. Bloodworth's observations of Ms. Richins' demeanor are not evidence, and they are to rely on their observations of Ms. Richins, if any, only.
I just don't even think that her demeanor is proper to rely upon because she didn't
Certainly
testify.
Can be. I mean, she burst out in laughter during the showing of the decedent's body. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to tell the jury you can't possibly consider that.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I totally trust you, but I have no recollection of any laughter when his body.
Even Wendy Lewis during this is like, I cannot believe my co-counsel is this dumb. Watch how fucking dumb this dumb is. Even her co-counsel is like, you are the dumbest person that I've ever sat next to. Watch Wendy Lewis as this moron is like, what do you mean? I didn't. Clearly the judge is making an example, but this stupid moron can't figure it out. And even Wendy Lewis is like, I have the dumbest co-counsel, law firm of Dumb and Dumber. I think I called Lewis dumber previously, but Nestor's clearly dumber in this instance. Absolute buffoon.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I totally trust you, but I have no recollection of any laughter when his body was
No,
showing.
it was a hypothetical, Ms. Nestor.
Oh,
to
thank
probe
goodness.
the bounds of your categorical statement that the jury can never consider the defendant's demeanor.
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying she did that, and I was just horrified.
Please
so.
stay focused.
But I am focused. I just.
No, you're not focused. You're a fucking idiot. Please stay focused. Is again Judge Mrazek being like, you fucking stupid dumb idiot. I've had it with you this entire fucking trial, and you're being dumb again. Can you stop being dumb for 5 fucking seconds, you stupid idiot?
Misheard you. I mean, is what you're asking me is, do we want a curative instruction now? Do we want to wait until later? Is that what the court is asking?
Right.
Court's indulgence for just a moment.
No, you've run out of indulgence. We have no more indulgence for you. Shut up. The indulgence, there's no more indulgence for you. None. No soup for you. No indulgence. You don't get indulgence. You ran out of indulgence on day fucking 3. Your stupid whispers. Oh.
Okay, I think we do want it now, if we can get one now.
Let's hash that out for a second. What I proposed was an instruction that the jury may rely on their own observations, if any, of Ms. Richins' demeanor in trial, but they cannot rely on counsel's statements regarding what Ms. Richins' demeanor was. I want to be clear. There were no comments regarding her silence.
Well, I mean, it's our position that when you comment on how she looked while she remained silent at counsel table, that is a comment on her silence in our estimation. But I agree that he didn't say anything specifically about silence.
How about you stay silent the rest of the fucking time? Just shut up.
That instruction would be preferable to no instruction, I think.
Okay.
It'd be preferable if you stop being a
The Black Widow
moron.
comment was connected to comments that were made by Chelsea Barney, correct?
I mean, they came out of his mouth in closing.
And he specifically referenced
Still
Chelsea
not
Barney's
grasping this
testimony. Is it
easy
your position
concept.
that Chelsea Barney never used that phrase or words?
I don't recall her saying that.
You don't
But
recall
It's been
anything.
a long trial, and I would not want to make that I 1,000% am sure, but I certainly don't recall
You're
that.
1,000% a moron.
It was in the recorded phone call with Bryce Knutson.
And then people are like, I get some comments, you're not a lawyer. Where did you go to law school? I can see an idiot. I don't need to go to lawsuit to see what a moron is. I don't need a JD. I have a JD in spotting morons. Don't tell me I can't call out a moron when I see one. I have a fucking doctorate in pointing out morons. Don't tell me. A doctorate.
And
I'm 46 years old. I've seen morons my entire life. And I am a moron, so I could do it.
everybody is speculating as to defendant's state of mind. It's one of the factual issues that the jury will have to determine according to circumstantial evidence, because as we instruct them, there's no direct evidence of what's in her mind. Why was anything that Mr. Bloodworth said regarding the inferences that can be drawn regarding her state of mind inappropriate?
Because they were made up out of whole cloth with no evidence to back it up.
You're going to have to be more specific.
So he went to great
Translation, you're going to have to stop being an idiot and tell me what you're talking about, because I can't figure it out. I know everything about the law, and I can't figure this shit out.
lengths to fantasize about what she was thinking about when there's been no evidence to that. He could have certainly said, look, she could have been thinking this, she could have been thinking that. He didn't. He gave them what was in her mind, which is just based on things he made up in his own head, not based on evidence.
Why aren't they all based on his view of the evidence that came in at trial? Was there any references to evidence that did not come in?
Well, first of all, calling her a narcissist, I mean, that didn't come in. There was no testimony that she's ever been diagnosed to have a narcissistic personality disorder. There's no evidence at all about her mental condition. And then when he talked about her putting the reasoning why she picked certain days to get more attention, nothing about that has ever come into play, ever. I mean, that's just one of many.
I am emailing Bloodworth right now. Do you need an expert on pointing out narcissistic morons? Hit me up. I'll shoot over my CV.
He went through lots of scenarios about what she was thinking as if it was a fact, and it wasn't. So, I mean, I think he can encourage the jury to use circumstantial evidence to try to reach their own conclusions, but he can't say this was in her mind when he doesn't know.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth, go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, were there any particular points that defense counsel raised that remain unresolved in the court's mind?
Any objection to the proposed instruction regarding the jury must rely on their own observations, if any, of defendant's demeanor, but cannot consider counsel's statements regarding her demeanor?
No objection.
Okay. And then
hey, there's Scott.
The statement regarding giving any kind of illicit street drug is sufficient to show the murder count. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that.
I mean, we don't have to watch this whole fucking thing because I want to get through. I want to go to this stupid fucking closing. You'll be shocked to know there's no mistrial. He gives a curative instruction that no one cares about. Now we're going to watch the Droopy Dog's closing here. Hi, Penny. Hello to Penny. By the way, for folks who didn't watch it, prosecution PowerPoint, phenomenal. Just wait till you see the defense's PowerPoint and pictures. Holy shit. And by the way, this... Oh.
We're ready for the jury. Let me know.
Ready to go.
Excuse me. In the early morning hours of March 4th,
Scott, get her a lozenge. Scott, she needs a lozenge. Scott, get her a lozenge. Scott! Now, lozenge, stat.
2022. The house was quiet. Kouri Richins fell asleep in her young son's room, like many parents do. At some point in the night, she gets up and walks back down the hallway to her bedroom. She slips back into bed beside her husband. She settles in next to him. She reaches over, and he feels cold. Eric Richins, the father of her children, the man that she has built a life with. Something feels wrong. She pulls the blanket up around him, but something still isn't right. He feels heavy. She turns on the light, and when she looks at her husband, really looks at him, she realizes something is terribly wrong. And in that instant, in that bedroom, in the quiet early of the morning, Kouri Richins' world collapsed. Reasonable doubt. It's not just a slogan, it's not just a suggestion, it's a constitutional shield that protects the innocent and prevents the state from punishing without truth. And it is the state that has that high burden, the highest burden under the law, to prove each and every single element of each and every charged offense beyond a reasonable doubt. The state stood up on day one and they told you they were going to prove that.
Oh shit, thank you for pointing this out. Why do I have this on normal speed? What am I, on crack? We got to put this up 1.5. This dopey idiot.
Kouri Richins had the means, the motive, and the opportunity to kill Eric Richins.
Thank you, Division Bell. I don't know why I had this on fucking normal.
And we're going to talk about each of these, but first, I want to talk a little more about reasonable doubt. I've told juries for a long time that one way to understand reasonable doubt is, are there other reasonable explanations as to what happened? As you look at the evidence, if there are other reasonable explanations, this is reasonable doubt, and you have to find Kouri not guilty. I put to you that every fact that the state has put forth to say that Ms. Richins is guilty has another reasonable explanation.
By the way, she sounds like Zoolander after he walks in the cave. I got the black lung pop.
Let's go back to March 3rd, 2022. From everything we've heard during this trial, Kouri and Eric were happy that night. They were celebrating. Kouri was just about to close on the Midway mansion. Rightly or wrongly, she believed that this was going to be the deal that put her over the top. The deal that had made everything she'd done with her business, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all worth it. The night of March 3rd, they have a celebratory drink, they go to bed, and then Kouri hears one of her sons cry out. And like parents all over the world do, she goes in to lie down on the floor of her son's room. An alibi or the truth? She wasn't inconsistent when she told this story. She told everyone, I was lying in Ash's room, I was lying down with him. What does reason tell you? What does experience tell you? When she wakes up, she goes back to her room. Eric appears to be asleep. We don't know for sure what happens over the next 15 minutes or so. The state asks you to leap to conclusions about what she was doing during that time. Yet they have not shown you any evidence of this. They just tell you to believe it. But what does reason tell you? She gets up. She goes to the bathroom. She picks up her phone. We all pick up our phone all the time. She's been away from it for an hour or two. She goes to the bathroom. Maybe she walks to the kitchen. Maybe she gets a drink of water. Maybe she lets out the dog. And then she goes back to her bedroom. Phone probably in hand.
What do you mean, maybe? She's your fucking client. Why don't you ask her? What do you mean, maybe?
Gets into the bed, next to her husband. Again, realizes he's cold, pulls up the blanket, realizes something's wrong, and turns on the light. It probably takes a moment or two for her brain to register what she's seen. And then she makes that call that nobody ever wants to make. She calls 911. A big part of this state's case is that Ms. Richins is not grieving properly. You heard this from a couple of different witnesses, 2 or 3. What does that mean? I was unexpectedly widowed when I was not much older than Kouri, and I had 2 little boys. How do you...
I don't know, man. If I found Shannon and I thought she was dead, 911 would be a call I definitely want to make.
Judge someone in that moment. If I've learned one thing during this trial, I've learned I didn't grieve right. I didn't know that, but it's clear now that I didn't. They want you to look at a woman in the worst moment of her life and to judge her grief. There is no wrong way to grieve. They're asking you to judge how she is acting at that moment, and then use that moment of evidence of guilt. In the opening, we pointed out, go ahead and put it on that the state looks at facts one way and sees a witch. But if you look at those facts another way, you see a widow. Here's an example. Hands over her face, curled up. A witch, hiding because she's done something wrong, or a widow, hiding and blocking out what has just happened to her, what has just happened to her children, what has just happened to her family and to her life. Look for
By the way, for someone who supposedly did CPR, which is a pretty strenuous activity, her hair was looking not too bad. Hair was all okay.
portrayals of women grieving.
Oh my God, here it is. I lost my shit. Look at this look at this exhibit. Look at this shit. First, let her describe what it is.
Look familiar? Portrayals of women grieving in art. Portrayals of women in grief.
First of all, no, it doesn't look familiar to me. Second of all, who made this fucking slide? What did they Google? Statues of women looking sad, and then they took this one. It looks like an alien, just and they copied and pasted 3 of them to the front of a black background. What the fuck is this? Oh shit. Well, you know what? Now that I look at these fucking statues, of course Kouri was really sad. I didn't think about the fucking statues from Greece. Now it all makes sense. Thank God this slide is in there, because it just clicked for me. Not guilty. She said, just like Caesar's fucking wife here, or whoever these fucking people are, or this fucking alien little robot. What the fuck? This is maybe the worst. I mean, Creighton's man on the mouse fucking wheel. But are you shitting me? You're defending a woman who's about to go to jail for the rest of your life. And this is your fucking exhibit? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
The state tells you during evidence that, she didn't immediately talk to Gene Richins when he came to the house because she felt so guilty she couldn't talk to him. Or was it because she didn't want to tell a father his son had died? Oh, she didn't tell the boys when she should have. It was weird. She didn't go talk to them. They were in the playroom. Again, because she felt guilty, or because she was dreading the most difficult conversation, the conversation no mother ever wants to have with her young sons. Their father is dead. The father that everyone agrees was a wonderful father is gone, and she has to tell those little boys, you're never going to see him again. Believe me, that conversation may be the worst moment in a mother's life. How can a woman be judged on how she handles that moment?
How can you judge her? Did you not see the statues? Did you not just see those statues? How are you going to fucking judge that woman? We just showed you a statue of Odysseus's fucking widow when he's out fighting fucking monsters, and she's sad.
You heard her friend Allie staking. When Allie arrived at the home that day, she said Kouri was clearly upset. She said she was distraught. This is someone who's known her since junior high, not an officer who met her 5 minutes ago. She said Kouri was acting as you would expect. That night, friends came over to talk about Eric, to drink to Eric. Awake is what the Irish call it. The state wants you to leap to the conclusion that that night, Kouri was celebrating Eric's death. You heard Allie stalking. They were celebrating Eric's life. They kept it light for the boys. They were dancing, they were smiling. All of them were, even Eric's sister. Can we not smile in our grief? They want to tell you no. But reason and experience tells you differently.
Well, fucking show me a statue of a woman smiling in grief, and then I'll believe it.
Let's talk about the investigation. The investigation in this matter was nothing but sloppy. It was driven by bias. Did you notice during the state's closing they didn't really even talk about the investigation? Instead, they speculated. What was in people's heads? What were they thinking? Speculation, conjecture, not proof. Instead of looking at the evidence to determine what happened, the state they determined what happened, and then they found the evidence to support it. This is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when you favor evidence that supports a belief and ignore evidence that contradicts it. That is how this entire case was investigated, working backwards from a conclusion.
Yes, my wife is pointing out that when I live stream Prince Charles' fucking coronation, and then I saw on like the carriages they had like these babies and they had arrows and swords and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck are those things? Are those baby warriors? And then everyone who is a know-it-all, everyone was like, those are cherubs. Excuse me, I didn't know what a cherub was. I called them baby warriors, and apparently that's what they are, so I was right again.
It started on March 4th. Detective Woody, before she's even entered the home, Amy Richins tells her they think Kouri's somehow involved. Then both Katie and Amy Richins tell Detective Woody they think this is because she recently found out about a trust Eric created. Immediately, this influenced this investigation. But what happened that first day? They found nothing to support foul play. Kouri tells them he was a user of THC gummies, that maybe he used one that night. They never ask where the gummies are. They do a cursory search of the bedroom and bathroom. They admit that they don't look in places where the gummies were found a month later, high up in the bathroom, high above the refrigerator, high up in the laundry room, somewhere in a pocket of either Kouri or Eric's jacket in a closet. All places where they would have been put out of reach of children. But they didn't find any of them that day. You know what else they didn't do? They didn't secure the scene. They moved things around. They told you they didn't have probable cause to search the whole house. We couldn't search the whole house. All we could do was look in the bedroom and the bathroom. But they could have asked for consent. Kouri gave them consent when they asked to search one place outside of the bedroom. The entire house could have been searched that day, but they didn't do it. They didn't even ask. What else happens that morning? Officer Nguyen, he does his death checklist. He says, did he have any history of prescription abuse? Did he have any history of illicit drug use? And what does Kouri tell him? No. How easy would it have been to just say yes? If she had just killed him with illicit drugs, why, in the name of God, did she just not say yes? Had she said yes, we probably wouldn't all be sitting here today. She didn't say yes because she did not know how he had died. Over the last 4 years, they've gone back to that house 10 more times. And they still can't tell you what happened the early morning of March 4th, 2022. 10 warrants, that's a lot. That's not typical. They were still searching for evidence on February 9th of this year, 2 weeks before trial. 4 years of investigation. And they are still trying to find evidence to make their case because they know they don't have enough. They're still trying to prove Kouri Richins guilty. So let's talk about Todd Gabler. In comes Todd Gabler, the private investigator. Jeff O'Driscoll told you, well, he was an investigator for the estate. Just the civil case.
Okay, I'm bored in the house.
Seriously?
I'm in the house, bored.
He's putting trackers on the car of Kouri, her mother, her brother. He's trying to track Carmen Lauber's car. He's providing evidence to the police. Detective Woody testified that this information from the private investigator is what helped advance their investigation. He testified he was in the house alone numerous times, finding things the police didn't, not using gloves, calling law enforcement when he found things. He said he didn't need a babysitter while he did all these.
What? Is there really a verdict? Hold on. Where are people really seeing? Does anyone have someone from the courtroom who is confirming this? Hold on. Oh my God. Nate Eaton just confirmed there is a verdict. Holy shit. All right, folks. It's going to be read at 8:20, I think, Eastern. Right? Is it? I think. Holy shit, folks. She is cooked. Cooked. She is cooked. Share it, folks. I just tweeted it out. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. Have them come join us. I'm going to keep playing this. I have to tinkle. I'll be right back.
Things, which is different than what Clint Benson told you. He said nobody was ever in that house without me being there. That wasn't true. What he told you wasn't true. Todd Gabler was in and out of that house numerous times by himself. He also told you that he was completely fair and unbiased, testing 2 hypotheses. His hypotheses, suicide and homicide. He ignored any others, including accident. And how did he handle this unbiased testing of hypotheses? You heard Josh Grossman. He said the first time he talked to Todd Gabler said right out of the gate, Kouri killed Eric. Josh told you that tainted what he thought of next. How does it not taint an interview when your opening line is, oh, Kouri killed Eric, so now let's tell me what you have, what you know. Josh told you he started looking back at things differently than he had before because of that. Like I said, he tracked Kouri's car, he tracked her family's car, he tracked Carmen's Lauber car. He didn't track Cody Wright's car. He had more to gain from Eric's death than anyone. He didn't track anyone involved in the civil case regarding the trust. He only tracked people that he thought might lead to information for law enforcement. Did he follow up on Eric's trip to Mexico shortly before the death? No. Did he go to Mexico? Did he try and figure out where Eric had been in Sonora, Mexico? No. Nothing about that investigation was unbiased. Nothing. He passed it all on to law enforcement. And then what he did is he said to law enforcement, you should talk to Carmen Lauber. She's on the ropes in drug court. This would be a really good time to interview her because she would be very likely to be compliant at this time. Everything about this investigation was led by the Richins family. They started on day 1 and they continued until trial. They are the ones who initially hired and paid for experts. Their private investigator gave the information to the police. And by the way, Gabler testified that he followed all the rules of being a private investigator. And that may very well be true. But he doesn't have to operate under the Constitution. There's a...
Oh, she's so cooked. Oh, Kouri, you fucking idiot. And your stupid attorneys. Oh, you dumb dummy. Oh, you dumb. And you're going to go to the most unluxurious prison that they have to offer, I'm sure.
Reason that we have rights under the Constitution. There is a reason that law enforcement has to get warrants to enter your home, to take electronics, to search your house. It is to protect the citizens of our country. It is to protect the innocent. Sidestepping these important constitutional rights by hiring a private investigator who then let law enforcement know what to do taints this entire investigation. And you know what? That is terrifying. It's terrifying. If someone has enough money to hire a PI, they can circumvent our constitutional rights, dig into every aspect of our rights, of our lives, and turn it over to police.
Brittany asked if Kouri will have a Donna Adelson type reaction. I think she'll make a face and shit, but I don't think she'll like be as bad as Donna, who had to be like, they had to like zap her almost because she was so fucking insane. And Judge Everett had to like tell her to shut up. She'll make faces, but I don't think she'll be as crazy as Donna. I don't know. What do you guys think?
We have a constitution for a reason. It's to protect us all.
Should I make this live and just make sure that we don't miss anything? I mean, nothing's going to happen now, right? Let me just go live and see. This is at 1:08. No, it's still... Oh, 8:30. Wait, what, Law and Crime, what do you mean? What does that mean, Law and Crime? Verdict will be read at 6:20. So does Mountain Standard Time off by 10 minutes? Law and Crime, is it also off by 10 minutes? What do you mean 6:20, 8:30? That doesn't make fucking sense. Doesn't make sense, Law and Crime. Get your shit together, Law and Crime. It's like a half hour. We're getting a verdict. Oh, she's cooked. What time is on? I forgot. I'm all jacked up on the juice.
How do you judge someone?
Oh, shut up.
You might want to delete that off your phone. Follow up on that. He said that information to the police. He interviewed Chelsea Barney, where they discovered that they were wrong about some text messages. Law enforcement was wrong with what they thought they were looking for. He interviewed someone named Jake Sorensen, who must not have had anything important to say because we never heard from him. Then he interviews Carmen Lauber, because he was told to by the private investigator. That's it. That was the investigation. He didn't investigate any other leads. He didn't attempt to corroborate information.
Hold on, let me see. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see if I can do something here. Oh shit! Look, guys, I haven't done this in forever. Look, I got a little verdict thing here. I used to have a whole thing. Should I do like a scrolly thing? Can I do that? I haven't done this in so fucking long. Hold on. Edit text. How do I make this like a scrolly thing? Oh, Debbie giving out 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Debbie. Oh, there we go. Welcome to the new members. Capri Suns in the chat. Capri Suns in the chat. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Particularly in the letter that we saw that Kouri wrote to her mother, the walk the dog letter. Now, he told you he didn't need to corroborate
I'm all grown up.
that because he didn't get that letter till after Kouri was arrested. So, I guess the state was done. You wouldn't want to start looking for things that might show her innocent. You've arrested her. Interestingly, they were still executing search warrants. They were still trying to find evidence for guilt, but they weren't looking at any evidence that might show innocence. It is absolutely possible that everything she said in that letter was true. In fact, at least 3 things in that letter were corroborated by the state's own witnesses. But they didn't investigate it. Again, ignore what might contradict your theory. Confirmation bias. Reasonable doubt. Also remember that letter never went to anyone. So it was nothing more than thoughts on paper. That's all that letter was.
Yes, Carnage. I am absolutely going live for the verdict. I'm skipping this bullshit. And at 8, I'm only just watching this now as filler. We're going right to that verdict, folks. I will be going live for the verdict. Absolutely.
What else didn't he do? He didn't interview the person Eric was talking to in Mexico the night of his death, and we'll come back to that. But he didn't follow up on that. He said that. He didn't follow.
Yes, a quick verdict is usually very indicative of guilty. If they came back this early and it's not guilty, that jury is fucked, in my opinion. She's cooked. Cooked. How do I make this bigger? That's what she said. Let's see. Is this our 36? Is that better? All right.
Follow up on where Eric went in Mexico or who he was communicating with in Mexico when he was there. He didn't investigate what Eric did or where he went on February 14th, 2022. He didn't follow up to
She was cooked the second she decided not to go to a library and look up all that shit she looked up.
see if did Eric go to the hospital that day. In fact, he did nothing regarding that day. Nothing. What else?
Holy shit, Abby coming in hot with $100 Venmo that just said, I gotta not dox her. We got Tony Montana, and it just says cooked in caps. Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you.
He didn't find fentanyl anywhere. Allegedly, there were 90 to 120 pills of something. At least oxycodone. Where were they? I guess somebody took them. But they didn't have them. So whatever pills Carmen may or may not have provided to Kouri were gone. They no longer existed. They couldn't find or test those pills. And we do know that she bought oxycodone. But you know what? There was no oxycodone in Eric's stomach that night. So instead, Detective O'Driscoll says, well, we wanted to corroborate Carmen's story. I mean, we were going to corroborate it. We weren't just going to go by it. The story that they fed her. They want to corroborate the truth. They wanted to corroborate a story. Again, let's find what confirms our theory. Let's ignore what doesn't. Confirmation bias. Reasonable doubt. Sitting here in this courtroom after 4 years of investigation, there was an awful lot that O'Driscoll just could not tell you. Things he couldn't remember. He couldn't remember what people had told him in interviews. For example, he was asked, did you interview Eric's allergy doctor? Well, yes, but I can't remember what he said. Well, that might have been important because he testified the EpiPens in the house belonged to the children. Well, maybe because Eric had recently used his a couple of weeks earlier when he had an allergic reaction. He said, well, if I could have a few minutes, I could find out what was said. I could give you more information. We were in trial. He was on the stand.
Shut up.
4 years after Eric had died. 3 years after he'd been appointed as lead investigator. And either he wasn't prepared to testify or he just didn't know.
I mean, to be fair, she's got a point about fucking Kelsey here, who couldn't be bothered to like actually know his file, but didn't matter.
He is the lead investigator. Now the state elicited testimony from him that how could he possibly know the entire case? It's just too much. I couldn't know all of that information. But he's the one they put on. He's the one they relied on to testify about this investigation. You didn't hear from anyone else about the last 3 years of that investigation. They chose him. You know what else he couldn't testify to? He couldn't testify how the fentanyl got into Eric's system. He said, well, he ingested it.
Man.
There was no evidence. None. The fentanyl was put in the drink.
You sure about that?
That was argument. Argument is not evidence. And they waited until closing to tell you, oh, she put it in a drink, without any evidence to back that up. Okay, she made him a drink that night, but that's it. She made him a drink. There's no evidence that fentanyl was in that drink.
Are you sure?
And the lead detective who couldn't tell you anything, he sat through this entire trial. He heard every witness testify. Huh? He had an opportunity to form his answers or reform his answers based on...
Sylvia Graham 9910 says, does anyone believe me? The verdict is in. Just take a look at that screen, Sylvia. Look at that top blue thing. Believe you. And I'm going to go live in about 10 minutes, and we're going to watch it together. The original Jersey Jen says, I literally have tears being able to watch this verdict with you with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jen. Okay, you're out, Sylvia. Sylvia, what happened? I thought we were vibing, Sylvia. What happened? I thought we had a thing, Sylvie girl. What happened to us? You and me, we had a thing, and now you're leaving, Sylvie? What happened? What happened? I thought we were friends. We were in the trust tree with the nest.
What knew other people had said, and yet he still didn't know the evidence.
Huh?
I want to talk a minute about deleted texts and the phone searches just quickly.
I'm back, baby!
Deleted texts.
I'm just goofing.
They said there were deleted texts off Kouri's phone, and that, it looks like that probably was true.
Objection!
Why would you delete
Extremely
text off your
racist.
phone? Maybe because you were having an affair?
Oh my God, guys! I have the clip of Wendy Lewis. Here it is. I thought I did. It's Wendy Lewis. I got the black lung, Pop.
Years? You might want to delete that off your phone before your whole husband's family finds out about it. Maybe because she was buying oxycodone. I mean, she asked Carmen for pain pills. Doesn't mean she killed her husband. But you probably want that off of your phone. The phone searches. So the evidence showed that Kouri found out on April 13th that Eric died of a fentanyl overdose. And that's the day they took her phone and she gets a new phone. These searches are all done on that new phone. Searches of how much fentanyl does it take to kill someone, or how much fentanyl is a lethal overdose? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, because she just...
Clearly my ticker is not working.
found out her husband died of a lethal overdose of fentanyl, you might want to know what that means. And she texted her things. They said, oh.
We have a verdict, folks. We have a verdict. It's coming in at 8:20.
Oh, she texted about women's prisons. Of course she's worried. An innocent person would be worried. Anyone would be worried if they just found out that they are a suspect in a homicide investigation. She would have been scared to death.
Guys, we have a verdict. We have a verdict, and guess what? I'll give you one guess. I am very surprised, Neely. My prediction was Wednesday afternoon. So, again, I have a doctorate in being a moron, and I was way off on that one.
She was looking for information based on what she found out after Eric died. All right, what do we know about those last few hours before Eric's death? It's not a lot, but we do know some things from the autopsy and the toxicology reports. We know that he had fentanyl in both his blood and his stomach. We know he had quetiapine and alcohol only in his stomach and not his blood. So this means the quetiapine had to be taken after the fentanyl. Had they been taken together, they would have both been in his blood. We know there was no histamine response, no anaphylaxis, so he had not had an allergic reaction to anything in his body that night, including fentanyl. The state wants you...
Guys, just tell me if you see like that they get off the symbol, and I'll go live once they do.
To believe that the allergic reaction...
Katie, longtime OG Bo, says, the amount of times I sing Why You Always Lying to my kids and always think of you. Thank you so much, Katie, for the super chat. Welcome in, Tony.
Reaction he had on February 14th was to fentanyl. If he had an allergic reaction on February 14th, he would have had one again 3 weeks later. Now, I know the toxicologist testified, well, you don't have an allergic reaction every time, and you can look at her testimony, but it was a little bit hard to understand, but I believe she was talking about, you might eat peanut.
I can't wait for juror interviews. I really hope some of them choose to do them. I agree. And if anyone knows a juror, shoot him my way. Shoot him my way. I'll give the best interview. You fucking know it. I won't give a bullshit interview. I would be like, you fucking hated those attorneys, didn't you? They annoyed the shit out of you, didn't they? You couldn't take Stankface, could you? Give the jurors my number. They'll love me. JD, welcome to the Bows. Thank you so much, JD. Tony, a member for 28 months. Thank you so much, Tony. Katie, welcome to the Bows. All the Bows in the house. This is so nice to see. I always love to see it. Capri Suns in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm going to go live in about 7 minutes to watch the verdict
for a lot of time
being read. And once it goes live, I'll be going live.
And then have an allergic reaction. And then it starts. Once you have an allergic reaction to something, it doesn't typically go away. We know he had norfentanyl in his body. And this is because his body had started to metabolize the fentanyl. The state's toxicologist told you.
Miss Twatty Waffle, member for 28 months. You do the best interviews so long since a verdict with Jay. Thank you so much,
That the
Miss
fentanyl
Twatty
could have
Waffle.
been left over from a previous use. That was a possibility.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Another reasonable possibility. The fentanyl was there from a previous use. That was the evidence. That is
that, Mr. Reed. Because it's devastating to my case.
Vexidus Parrot. Love being here for the verdict. Thank you so much. 24 months, 2 years, a Super Bowl. Appreciate you, Shiraz.
reasonable doubt. What else do we know from the Emmy and the toxicologist?
Abby says people are saying under 3 hours means not guilty. If they are that quick, not guilty, that would be insane to me.
Well, we know that the fentanyl
Holy
was
shit,
not
don't put that into my head. That would be fucking crazy.
put in a drink. And how do we know this?
I mean, you think there would be at least one juror who there's no way in 3 hours to be like, we're done, not guilty. That would be.
There was only fentanyl in the blood and not alcohol. The state's toxicologist leaned toward the fact that maybe Eric didn't even drink alcohol, that the alcohol in his stomach was post-mortem decomposition.
Kay Brown, 18 months ago. Thank you so much, Kay.
But the other scenario that she said that was possible was that Eric took the fentanyl, then took the quetiapine, had a small amount of alcohol. She testified that it would take 15 to 60 minutes for fentanyl to make its way into the blood. That alcohol takes 15 to 30 minutes to make its way into the blood.
Horse shit!
So if the alcohol and fentanyl were taken together, they both would have been there at the same time
Christine,
in the blood.
28 months. Thank you
But
so much,
just
Christine.
the fact that one reasonable possibility is that the fentanyl was taken before the quetiapine and the alcohol gives you reasonable doubt that it was placed in a drink an hour earlier.
Right to jail, right away.
Now the state's saying, well, maybe she put it in a non-alcoholic drink. So their celebratory drink maybe didn't have alcohol in it. There's no evidence of that.
Pammy, 2 years. Thank you so much, Pammy. You guys are all awesome. Thank you.
Huh? They're throwing around a lot of theories.
Amy, 23 months. Thank you so much, Amy. Get those
Why
Capri
is
Suns
that?
in the chat.
Because they don't have one. They don't know what happened. Dr. Christensen and Dr. Ulmer testified that
Should I go live? I'm worried I'm going to miss something. It's still on the seal I see here. Baby Bo Madeline, welcome to the
manner of
post.
death
Thank you,
cannot be
Madeline.
determined. This is really important. Dr. Christensen testified the ME's office didn't know enough about Eric's history to determine if it was an accident. They also didn't have enough information to determine it was a homicide. The ME had at least a reasonable doubt as to the cause of death. And the ME isn't held to the high standard that the state is. And there was no evidence that the autopsy couldn't have been amended at a later date if additional information was received. The ME testified, excuse me, the ME didn't tell
Lisa, member for 18 months. Thank you so much, Lisa D.
you that they couldn't amend the autopsy. He just told you they didn't. What else didn't they do? Why didn't they do a hair follicle test? Dr. Christensen said, well, we don't do that unless we're asked to. Who would you be asked to do that by? Law enforcement. Again, some account.
Dr. RT. Thank you so much, Dr. RT. Appreciate you, Dr. RT.
He was only looking for evidence to confirm their theory. Evidence to support that Kouri was behind Eric's death. They did not want to look for evidence that contradicted that theory. Had they done that test, we might have our.
All right, I'm keeping this right here. We got 2 minutes, and I am not missing it. I am too anxious to miss it. We are live for the verdict. I really want to find the best sound effect for this, but I can't find it. I'm trying to find that what you just said. Well, while we wait, let me just see if I can find some of the highlights of the I want to get some of the pictures. Oh, wait, is this one? No, that's not it. Where's the elephant picture? All right, I'm not going to mess with anything here. Thank you all for being here. We should have a verdict any second now. Any second now, we should have a verdict. We are live. Crazy, crazy how fast it came back. Holy Crazy. I'm surprised they're not even just showing the court. Usually they show the like people coming in. What's up, DJ? What's up, Amy? Don't be nervous, Amy. It's going to be all right. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. We have a verdict. Oh, we got movement. Camera moved. Again, thank you so much for everyone who has watched these rewatches with me and supported me for all my shorts and my videos that I made. Follow me everywhere, Jabronius. Again, next case will likely be Courtney Clenny, and I will probably be setting up some rewatches of like maybe hearings, her police interview. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We are about to get the verdict for Kouri Richins. Jeannie says, love that you get to see this live. Me too, crazy. What are the odds? I always end up, sometimes I have pretty good luck at catching verdicts. Like I was even, you guys remember for the OGs when I was awake when that Dante guy, what was his name? Cavalcano, that guy who escaped, and I just happened to be live that one when they found him. That was a crazy one. Courtney Clenny, I believe, starts at the end of April. Courtney Clenny is the one that allegedly stabbed her boyfriend. She was an influencer, had an OnlyFans, I believe. Wow. I cannot believe they're back. Right? But what's going on? Why are they not reading it? What are we doing here? Cavalcante, right. Courtney Clenny was one of the first cases I got into after that I started learning about, other than the Adelsons, obviously, right in the beginning of 2023. Christine has Long Crime on TV and Jay on my phone. Thank you, Christine, and thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We're about to get the verdict for Kouri. I'm about to go to a non-luxury prison, Richins. Trying to find the elephant. That was the best slide of the day. But also, like, I'm worried I'm going to show it and then, like, the whole thing is going to freeze. Oh, is it right here? Let's see. Oh, there it is. Here's the best slide. If you missed it, whoops. The best slide. It would only be better if this was Kouri Richins. They had her, like, picture there. That would be hilarious. Like, her face in there. The elephant shit. Why is this freezing? Let's go live. Make sure we're not missing anything. All right, we're live. Should be getting a verdict any minute now. And by the way, Courtney Clenny, if you think Courtney Clenny may have worse faces than the old Kouri here. Come on. Hey, Brad. What's up, Brad? Check out the big brains on Brad. Welcome in, Brad. Good to see you. We're any second now. We'll have a verdict, folks. Any second now. Yes, Cynthia, she was interviewed in a bloody robe. That is correct. That is correct. The original JJ. I so miss the days of ago. Thank you, Larry David, for bringing Jay back into our lives. Thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate it very much. All the bows, or most of the bows, back in here. Love to see it. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We should have a verdict any second now. There is a verdict, and we should have them read it any second, man. What do you guys think? What is Kouri gonna do? Oh, my Lanta. Come on. Come on, I can't wait anymore. This is the verdict. What's up, Molly? Good to see you. Good to see you. It is. It's definitely a Bo reunion. I guess I should explain, if you guys don't know, if you're new to the channel and you don't know why we say Bo, because we learned during the Murdoch trial that Bo is a friend, so they used to say, hey, Bo, and that's why I call it J-Bo Nation. Oh, we got movement. I just saw it move. It moved. DJ Miller, people are being seated now in the courtroom as per Court TV. Thank you, DJ. Hey, Life, Love, and True Crime. Thanks for being here. 5 charges in 3 hours. Good point. This wasn't just one charge. 5 charges. Holy shizzle. They're waiting for Eric's dad. Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Hey, JD, good to see you. Kouri is picking a different shower curtain. Kouri is picking her verdict shower curtain to wear. So we got to wait for her to get her verdict shower curtain. Again, if I haven't said it, but if I'm on Jabronius everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace, Twitter. It'll always be Twitter to me. I cannot believe they came back today. Can't believe I'm Where are you at, Eugene? Friendster, ICQ, AOL Instant Messenger, Jabronius, everywhere. Come on.
Well, we're waiting.
Oh, this is what all right. This is what I wanted to play at the end of, I found it. So let's get to the end of her closing.
To tell you, I'm afraid to stop talking.
You should be afraid, you dope.
In a defense attorney, that entire cases that I missed, you won off. The court probably quickly approved you a couple for guilty or not guilty. Will trial. And final ask.
Oh, here's one of their great pictures.
And each and every one of something come and the courage to stand between a member of the institution.
Hey, CW.
To the state to tell them this.
And this is what I would have played if I was streaming this live at the end.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
That is Jim Downey, and he was on the Oscars last night. Oh, there he is. Here we go. Do you guys know that? He was on the Oscars, Jim Downey. He is the guy.
We're back on the record in 231.
Here we go.
50139, State of Utah versus Kouri Richins. Counsel for the state and the defendant are present. Ms. Richins is present as well. The court is informed that the jury has reached a verdict. I do not know what it is. We'll invite the jury in a moment. When I do, I'll ask the foreperson a simple yes or no question. Have you reached a unanimous verdict? I expect that person will say yes. I'll ask them to hand the verdict to the bailiff, hand it to me. I will read the verdict. This brings me to important instruction number 1. There can be no outward reactions whatsoever to the verdict.
You hear that, Kouri?
These folks are here against their will.
He's talking to you, you idiot.
All the lawyers, Ms. Richins, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect. There simply cannot be any outward reactions. You have to keep your hands folded in your lap. If you feel overcome with emotion, just look down. We cannot have any outward reaction.
King
Second,
shit, Judge Mrazek.
Once the verdict is read and the jury is discharged, you need to stay seated and follow the deputy's instructions about how we will leave the courtroom in an orderly fashion. If anybody in here can't follow these instructions, this is your chance to leave. All right. Fair warning. Counsel, Ms. Richins, it is my practice to ask all the lawyers and the defendant to stand in respect for the jury as I read the verdict. I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
We are.
All right.
Here we go. Deep breath, you piece of garbage. Deep breath. Take a deep breath, you fucking loser.
I do not. Do you want me to?
Cooked.
I can put out my instant messaging. Oh. Okay.
Oh man, she is meditating right now. There ain't no chandeliers in the prison you're going to, girl.
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, would the foreperson you've selected please stand? May I ask you a yes or no question? Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes, we have.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy, and you can have a seat. Thank you. I'll take that. All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty
Boom!
of aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson.
5 for 5.
Please have a seat.
Biatch, sit down.
Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right. Folks, I'll ask you the same yes or no question, one at a time, starting on my left, working this way. Front row first. If you could show me your lanyard number as I ask you. Juror number 5, is this the verdict you voted in favor of?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this the verdict you voted in favor of?
Yes.
Juror number 3.
Yes.
I can't see your number, I'm so sorry. The foreperson, I just need to ask you again, I'm sorry. Juror number 2.
Yes, it is.
Juror number 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir. Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
All right. Counsel, is there anything further on this case before the jury is discharged? Mr. Bloodworth.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this trial is now finished. Thank you for your service. The American system of justice relies on your time and your sound judgment, and you have been generous with both. You serve justice by your fair and impartial decision. All of my previous admonitions are now lifted. You may speak about this case with anyone or with no one at all. It is entirely up to you. You might be contacted in the future by the press or by the lawyers. You do not have to talk with them or with anyone else, but you may if you would like. The choice is yours entirely. I'm now turning to the attorneys and instructing them to honor your wishes as officers of the court if you indicate that you do not want to talk about this case. If you do talk about the case, please respect the privacy of your fellow jurors. The confidences they may have shared with you during deliberation are not yours to share with others. Thank you, all of you, for your service. Please rise for the jury. All right, please have a seat. Ms. Lewis, we need to get a pre-sentence investigation report, and we need to set sentencing. I imagine, Mr. Bloodworth, that the state would request that that be special set.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, does defendant waive the 45-day limit for sentencing?
Yes, we will.
All right. Let me call up my calendar.
Kouri's mom.
Should we be looking in May, Ms. Lewis?
That's fine.
Do you have a sense of it, Mr. Bloodworth? April is not possible. In May, do you have a sense of when would be appropriate?
Your Honor, can I step back and talk to the victim's family?
Sure. And Ms. Lewis, if you need a moment to confer with anyone.
Your Honor, any day in May works.
Props to Bloodworth. He brought that shit home.
Without having to move something, which I am, of course, willing to do, I could do it during the week of May 25 or the morning of May 13. But if those times don't work, or if the week of May 25 is too far out, I'll move something to accommodate council schedules. Ms. Lewis, why don't I begin with you?
Either of those days would work for the defense.
Donna White, 25 Venmo.
Is a morning enough time?
Grateful for another verdict with the bows. Thanks,
Ms.
Jay.
Lewis.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
We'll set sentencing for 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 13. We're hereby referring Ms. Richins for the preparation of a pre-sentence investigation report. Ms. Lewis, anything else on the record today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Richins, I'll see you again, May 13, 9:30 a.m. I need everyone to stay seated, follow the instructions of the Summit County deputies. The court is in recess. Travel safely.
Grab her by her shower curtain. Drag her ass out of there. Wow. I am shocked it was this fast, but in my opinion, they got it right. Thank you so much, everyone who is here. Look out for future coverage of Courtney Clenny. You guys have been so supportive. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the new folks, all the OGs, everyone. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. Jay Bronius everywhere. If you're on the replay, hit the like, subscribe. And I appreciate you all watching this with me and watching my replays of the case. You guys are the best. J Bonation, best group in the biz. In my opinion, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. And I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you all for the super chats, the Venmos, and all the things. Appreciate you guys. They got it right, I think, in my opinion. So have a good night, everybody.